Hey guys, and welcome back to the Path to Exile Podcast, episode 50, partnered with Mobalytics. I am Cal Torak, and joining me per usual is Miso Shiro and Dead Rabbit. And if you're new here, we have our audio-only formats on Apple Music and Spotify. So if you prefer to listen instead of watch, check us out over there. This week we have special guest Animeprincess. AP, we have discussed bringing you on 1,000 times. I don't know why it took so long. I've known about your content for a while now, but I really started grinding your content specifically during Mirage League. You were grinding out these currency farm videos, and I was playing a lot of Mirage, and every day I was like, oh, hell yeah, a new AP video, a new farm that I get to go do and stuff. For those that don't know your content, how did you, like who are you and how did you get started making Path of Exile content?
Yeah, so I'm Animeprincess on YouTube as well as Twitch. I guess I would consider myself primarily a YouTuber, but I have been streaming more often on Twitch recently. I've been playing Path of Exile 1 for like a decade, and I guess I started creating content maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, just for fun. Also, like the name Animeprincess, this hasn't been my name like my whole gaming career. It just like I wasn't making content, I was just making it for fun, and that just happened to be my name. So I guess I kind of stuck. And yeah, that's how we got here.
I was gonna ask how that happened. What's the story behind it?
It was just a joke. I don't know. I've had several joke names. Probably shouldn't name all of them on the podcast, to be honest. And I don't know. I kind of like it. I feel like the name Animeprincess, it's unique at least, right? People are gonna remember that, and then not everybody wants to say that all the time. So I feel like I've developed like a nickname on top of my nickname, and if people watch my YouTube, they're gonna know me as AP, and I think that's kind of cool because I'll like pop into a stream. If the guy refers to me as AP, then I'm like, oh shit, this guy actually maybe watched my content before, and then that's like a little ego boost.
Also in the
So,
watch
yeah.
community, AP is very, very highly regarded in the watch community. So there's like
Wait.
probably 2 people in the comments now that know what I'm talking about. So there you go.
True.
No,
I don't
it's
know what that
Audemars,
means.
it's Audemars Piguet. It's a very, very good watch brand. So
Nice.
I think AP is nice.
True.
What a nerd.
Yeah, it's funny.
Huh?
Sometimes, like, you never know how someone's got a gamer name. Sometimes, like for me, Kal Torak was like I used to go by a different name, Zoya, and then I was playing World of Warcraft, and I transferred servers, and all of my names I normally use were taken, and this name Kal Torak was from the book I was playing. So I just like, well, whatever, I'll take the name. It sounds like an orc name anyway, and then I just happened to keep that character for several years, and then eventually started doing World of Warcraft videos, and since my character was named Kal Torak at that point, the name kind of stuck. There's always a fun journey with people's names. Rabbit, your name was from when childhood, right?
Yeah. It's like people always construe it with like dead animal or whatever, but it's like very innocent. It was just I don't know, like 13 years old or something. It was from Gangs of New York because the gang in Gangs of New York is called the Dead Rabbits. And then there was also like a hip hop producer back in the day. I used to listen when I was 13 years old. I was listening to like a German rapper, and he had a producer that was also called Dead Rabbit. That was like the second time that name came to me in the span of a few weeks. And then I started playing Counter-Strike, and we were looking for a clan name, and then it became the Dead Rabbit. So yeah, nice little lore. So ever since then, that was it. And we also have miso soup.
Yeah, that someone named
What's,
themselves after soup.
Yeah.
I mean, my name origin is very boring. Basically, one day my neighbor was like, "Hey, yo, dude, you want me to level up a MapleStory account for you?" I was like, yeah, sure. It takes forever, so yeah, why? That would be great." And then he made the MapleStory character X Miso, and then I just took it, and then I went, and then miso soup kind of became my identity. I actually had miso soup on Twitch, like just straight up miso soup for a little bit, and then I started streaming like full time, and I was like, yeah, this probably isn't the best for SEO. So then I went with like one of the alternatives that I usually pick whenever miso
Smart.
soup is taken. So I was like, okay, I'll just go miso x shuru, which is a little bit easier on the SEO side. If you're Japanese, like if you're speaking in Japanese, then probably not good for SEO still, because it basically is just miso soup, but in Japanese. But most of my audience is speaks English anyway.
Oh,
so
true, because it's
we're
more
all good.
unique, right?
Yeah,
Like if someone
exactly.
searches miso soup, how are they gonna end up at?
Exactly,
Yeah, true.
exactly. It's much better for SEO.
Smart. Very, very smart. And now already in the YouTube comments, I can see it right now. There's multiple people watching on YouTube right now, and they are commenting wildly right now. Why are they talking about this stuff? Because every time we open up the podcast with like a little bit of small talk and just like, I don't know, shoot the shit and talk about random stuff, there's one person in the YouTube comments that goes like 10 minutes in and they haven't even talked about Path of Exile. So hi, that person. Hi.
Well, let's stall a little bit longer. A few things before we dive into the podcast with AP. The first thing is, Miso, we are still looking for an editor, correct?
Yeah, because I haven't gone through the list yet. I've been a little busy. So
Yeah,
yes, we
fine.
still are.
It shouldn't be a quick process. If you are interested in becoming our editor, we are looking for someone to make shorts and TikToks for us. Capturing little moments from the podcast, whether it's talking about something important from the community or the game, or us being silly at times. So if you're interested, there'll be a form down below. Please reach out and apply. As well as we are doing a round 2 of our Hideout Showcase competition. The Raid Class World Tour number 2 is back. It is a really fun competition. You can win yourself some Steam gift cards. Last time it went really well. We had a lot of really cool submissions. This time we're going to be doing a better job of showcasing more people's hideouts on the podcast, as well as Mobilix is going to be making a article after the event, and all of your hideouts are going to be showcased on the post, and we're going to be giving out your hideouts for people that want to use them. So if they like the ones that they saw, they'll be able to download it from it. So the form will be down below. Anything the two of you want to say about the hideout competition? You got like 12 days to submit, so you still got times to cook on them. But
excited.
Don't
nice.
I do run these hideouts that, like, at least for the ones that are going to be winners. I do run them by there's a hideout showcase community. I'm in their Discord, and I run the hideouts for the winners by the admins. So if you're like trying to like download someone else's hideout and pass it off as your own or reuse pre-existing ones, we've got we are scouting these, and don't try and be silly. If you want to do silly hideouts, if you want to do fun hideouts, we have the 3 winners, plus we have the runner-ups that are like our personal faves. So, yep,
Yeah.
Go ahead and try and go ahead, Miso.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I've seen 2B spreading her cheeks many, many times at this point. Don't try to pass that one off, all right?
Yeah, none of those. None of those.
What?
You could try.
You've never seen that hideout where you walk
The
in,
anime
it's like
cheeks.
the big anime chick who's spreading her cheeks.
No, that's blocked on mine. If I can't go to a hideout, I already know it's that one. It's
Really?
blocked.
You can block hideouts?
No.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, damn, you're trying to protect your
can.
viewers, huh?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that in a while.
That's
now,
crazy.
so.
Oh,
Haven't
in a
seen
while.
hideout
I was
in a
gonna
long
say.
time. Yeah. Haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
Do you get into the hideout game at all, AP?
No, I just used the website and grabbed one that looked nice. Actually, one of my viewers was like, "Oh shit, you're using my hideout." So
Really?
that's kind of weird.
That's cool. That's cool.
Do you go
yeah.
for the very efficient one, or for the actual pretty one, or just the one that is where you don't have to move your character?
Mine's a pretty small hideout. I'd say it's pretty efficient. Although I do have this issue where the portals are like way too close to the map device, and when I want to like click on the map device, I just like walk into my old map, and that just keeps happening. I think I need a different map device.
That's very inefficient, I think.
Yeah,
I'm using one of those
using-
map devices with like one portal.
that's good. Yeah.
That's smart. I'm using somebody who submitted from the last hideout competition, and it is a very small hideout, so everything's within very short distance. Yeah, hideouts are cool. All right. AP, what are your overall thoughts on the patch? 0.5 has been out about 5 weeks now. How are you enjoying it? And if you had to give it a score out of 10, what would you give it?
Well, I'd say this is a pretty crazy patch. For me, it's a complete 180 from 0.4 because they've been promising this endgame rework for so long. We were supposed to get a last patch, right? And then instead, 0.4, I would say we got a botched league mechanic, and they also didn't deliver the promise. Like Temple, in my opinion, was the worst thing that happened to this game. Divine inflation through the roof. That means like you can't even buy stuff with divines. Last league was miserable. I quit pretty early. And then the last league also felt like a lot of FOMO because if you didn't do the Holton bug abuse tech, you were like really far behind. And then so we're like coming off Despair League where they broke all their promises into them dumping everything on us in 0.5. So for me, this is just such a massive contrast from 0.4 to 0.5. So it's a 10 out of 10 league. I generally compare like previous league to next league. We're like 5 weeks in. I've never played a league this long, and I still feel it feels like it's week 2. Like I could keep playing this for another month easily. So, yeah, definitely best patch, probably PoE1, PoE2 history for me, and yeah, not just the whole slew of endgame changes. We also just have a lot more juice just in general from the whole Atlas tree, right? So that adds a lot for everybody, I think, because in the past, I don't know if you guys also agree with this, but I would find like high-end crafting using like the purple omens, that was almost inaccessible to most viewers. Like I would almost feel like I'd be making a rage bait video if I made a crafting guide that required using whittling orbs, like dextral nulls, all of that. And it's completely different now. Like I think anybody can go into maps, farm rituals, self-farm their expensive omens for crafting, or you can just honestly you can just alch and go abyss. That's pretty good, and that will fund high-end crafting. So really democratized expensive crafting for everybody. Such a good league.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that you mentioned that ritual is so farmable. It's one thing because I don't craft much. I just like every time I'm doing it, like I'm having a panic attack. I haven't gotten past that point where I can accept the loss of divines when you're not making good items at times. And
Yeah.
so I end up always selling omens, but I constantly am like, guys, I'm making like 60 divine per hours right now because omens are selling so well. And I
Yeah.
constantly see in chat, I can't sell my omens, man. I'm making so many of them. I get to craft so much because of it. That's like a feedback I'm constantly
it.
seeing. So I
So
don't
good.
personally do that, but I'm seeing that feedback very
Mhm.
consistently. What about you guys?
I feel like we talked about this in an earlier podcast as well. Even though you are playing in a trade league, it just feels good if you are able to self-sustain a little bit. Um, there's always going to be a case, especially in a trade league, where you will buy specific stuff when you craft or whatever you're doing. You will always buy it, but whether you are SSF or trade league, it feels good. And I had it this league a lot where just in exchange of I'm blanking on the word, in exchange of just buying something, I just went with like, oh, I need some omens rather than just buying them right now. I think I'll just do ritual for a few hours and then I'll have all the omens that I need. And I think that is an amazing feeling, even though it's not SSF obviously, but it just feels very, very nice. And that wasn't the thing before. In 0.4, 0.3 or whatever, just going like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do ritual for 2 hours and I'll have like 4 whittles. That was never possible. And you always had to rely on the market, and it feels really good. And that's just one example. I think there's plenty more. Like Abyss is a good example as well. If you want Omen of Lights or Omen of Abyssal Echoes, that is just like half an hour away probably on Abyss. And
Temple.
that goes for so much other stuff, like Temple as well. It's just so available now. All the Temple currency, if you want it, and it's super, super, super expensive right now. I can't believe that more people are not doing Temple. You can just get it, and I just think that feels good. Even though, yeah, it was always the case, you can just buy it, but we all are a little bit easier in self-sustaining at the moment, and I think that's also a factor why it still feels so good to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to self-sustain voices. That hasn't really worked out.
Yeah, how many are you at?
Definitely
You're
less
at
than you at this
169.
point. 170.
Yeah.
I did one last night to test out the character.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at 250 now.
Jesus,
What's the strat for
guys,
that?
come on.
There
Like
is
how
no
much can you even
strat.
juice that? Well, you
Not
can do irradiated, right?
Yeah.
To buff the level, and then your drops will be higher level.
Basically,
yeah,
Is that it?
but
Is that all
juice.
you can do?
yep.
Yeah, kinda. The juice
Sure.
that you can do on simulacrums themselves is it uses a normal waystone. So I am going like at the start I was using actual omens for the waystones to get effectiveness and item rarity, because in between the waves, the monsters can it's actually pretty. I think I did a calculation for the first 150, and I got back 218 divines from the 150. So it has a lot of raw currency
Does
drops.
that
So
include
you
the
can
cost of the simu? Like, or
no. Just
oh,
just like
raw
I had in
drops.
150 simus, I had 218 divines drop. Just like raw drops,
Oh,
not
raw
not like
divines. Wow, that's a
overall,
lot.
just raw divines. So you are dropping between 1 and 2 per simulacrum. So you can juice it a little bit with effectiveness on the waystone and item rarity on the waystone. That will mainly decide, or over the course of like 200 or 300, that will increase the amount of divines or greater or perfect exalts that you will get. And then the only other juice that you can do for it is the Atlas Master. So you can get it to monster level 80 with Doyani. So then once you get an exceptional item from one of the unique monsters, it will always be in an 82 exceptional item. And I've gotten like a 82 exceptional Vile Robe or an 82 exceptional Ancestral Tiara, and those can be over 100 divines as well.
yeah.
So that's kind of the only strat that you can do with it. And yeah. It doesn't affect the voices. Nothing affects the voices drop because it's just a set loot table. And then you have these things that you can click in between. And for those, I always thought that clicking the boss
Those
one
don't
was
boost
just always
voices
the
at
bad.
all? Even if you
No,
get like the
nothing.
multiple choice ones? Wow, that's lame.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's
It's
so
just a
lame.
set loot table. Just like any other pinnacle boss, when you kill the pinnacle boss, it has a, let's say King in the Mist, for example, it has 11% to drop ingenuity. No matter if you have 400 rarity, 500 0 rarity, it's always 11% to drop item X. And same for voices. And
Gotcha.
apparently it's way less than 1%. By all the numbers that I've seen from people, I've seen people in my chat go, I'm at 300 plus and it hasn't dropped. Miso is at almost 200 now. I'm over 250 now.
I'm
It
at
seems
15.
to be. You're at 15. You're doing your part. There you go. It's definitely less than 1% the drop rate. I
I
think we
do
can
like the
say
new
that
Simu's
much.
design. It's a lot more fun in my opinion. Like I didn't at first like the less waves, but now I do. I like because like the way you can like curate your simulacrum to your own build is really interesting. Because I've had builds that were boss focused, but then I had builds that were like the rare like wave focused, and that was really fun. But the loot table for me, I couldn't get behind it. I had 2 Meglas drop and like anytime I hear anyone gets a Megla from Simulacrum, it's 99.9% of the time awful. It just like so you're really just making divines off of like just raw drops most of the time. And like the big hits don't seem existent from Simulacrum like very consistently, and that's the farms that I like. You know, Ritual, you have the consistent currency with the omens, but then you have the big hits with the Mage Blood. You know, Sanctum, you have the big hits with the like all the big hits from there, and it doesn't feel like Simulacrum's big hits are realistic farms to me. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Dead Rabbit got a Mage Blood the other day.
Did you get a Mage Blood again from Simulacrum? You're a rat, dude. You're a rat.
What? I can't. I don't choose. I'm not choosing
I don't
this.
choose.
I didn't choose to get 3 Mage Blood already.
That's crazy.
Hate
That's
this
OP.
guy.
Have you gotten
What
a
was,
Mage Blood to drop AP?
Yeah, I got one.
I was
Ritual.
about to say.
I wasn't even juicing it. I was doing I was doing the unique tablet, but I wasn't using the really expensive reroll ones.
That's cool. I've gotten a Mage Blood. I have only seen it once though. I haven't seen a Headhunter yet, which makes me sad. And I farm a lot of rituals. I do a lot of ritual right now. It's my main go-to farm. I did a lot of expedition. You mentioned the exceptional bases, Rabbit. I have been making a lot of currency off exceptional bases. At this point in the league, exceptional bases they churn, and you can get a lot of exceptional bases when you're doing expedition. So that's really fun.
Yeah.
So
I still kind of thought that
really just dropped, like tanked the prices of exceptionals.
It's nice to see them dropping more though, because like week 2 of the league, I was crafting like perfect gear for my character, and the 2-socket best ES helmet base was like 100 div. I was scared to put out a video for like a crafting guide for that, because when I did a staff crafting guide, the bases went from like 10x to like 40 div, and they're not that rare. Like a 2-socket helmet is like 100 times rarer than that. So people kept asking me, and I'm like, dude, I can't put this out. People are gonna get pissed because there's gonna be zero supply. But if people start printing out these exceptional bases, maybe it's time to do some giga crafting guides.
Do you get heavily into profit crafting?
No, not really. I just craft
Not
for
really.
myself. But sometimes, like, since I'm supporting a build, it is nice to put out crafting guides for my character, right?
Yeah, we talked about this with Fub, and it's something that like it's just an interesting dynamic that we don't get to talk about much because it's very oriented to us creators. But the idea that you can't release it's crazy that you can't share knowledge because there's like it will have a negative impact. There's very few games out there where that's the case, and it's unfortunate that you have to have that mindset. And I don't blame you for it.
Because, like, yeah, people were getting mad in the comments with the staff crafts. So, like, when it's going to be 100 times rarer, it's like it's going to be crazy in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
I don't know.
tough.
I guess like my crafts do end up being profit crafts because like enough people want to emulate my character, right? So like if I do a craft, it just ends up being a profit craft. It's kind of neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Streamers
ruining the game per usual.
Yeah. Just like Miso today on his stream, he was like, what was it? The +3 Prism of Belief. Miso was like, damn, what do you mean, Chad? This is over 200. I got mine for 6. Yeah, that's what happens.
I mean, I didn't even make a build guide yet. I never even told people to do it.
Oh,
wait, how much did it go up by?
It went from
to what?
16 to 200.
16 div.
Yeah, I bought mine for 16.
Someone's price fixing that for sure.
It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me. Come on, guys.
Mine was 300 div, and now it's a mirror, which is like 6,000.
Jesus.
But it started out expensive, so I don't know if that's that's not
that might just be normal inflation.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Spark 3 or
plus 3 Spark? Yeah.
I mean
that's Spark 3 is a mirror now? I had that. Fuck. I had that. I sold it like a week ago for 1,000 because I wanted to do a build. No.
No, you like never have that kind of dude.
Spark one.
No, never have that regret, dude. I always gut your builds. That's how I feel. Live in the now.
Yeah.
Don't live in the past build. Sell that shit. That's how you gotta live.
Because in the end, there's other stuff that also goes up. Everything goes up.
Yeah.
The only big mistake you can do is just keep all your divines in divines.
Yeah.
You should always
don't hold divs. Invest in your build.
Another asset class.
Almost everything goes up, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like good for your build, people will want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because speaking of this, so my current build, I got inspiration off of the Japanese Twitter user that I saw, right? So I took the build, implemented some of my own stuff into it, added like reverse chill into it, added low life into it, changed up some of the skills and stuff like that. And he noticed, actually, I didn't realize this. He tweeted on Twitter last night. He's like, wait, is Miso like using a very similar build to me? Because it's definitely very interesting that he's using this is it. And he's like, oh, and then he clarifies like, no, this is not like saying like, hey, don't copy or whatever. I'm actually very flattered that he's using my build and like doing his own spin into it, because I really think that some of the changes he made are really good, right? And then I was talking a little bit to him. He's like, oh wow, I actually really want to implement reverse chill now. And I'm like oh, that might be a little bit hard now, because a big part of it is the Prism of Belief making the mana cost go up. And if it's 200 divs of pop right now, oh, he's in for a rude awakening.
Oof.
And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, once again, you streamers, you're destroying my game. Destroying my game. That's what it is.
My current build, I actually took some inspiration from a Japanese streamer as well. And actually, she shouted me out a few leagues ago on YouTube when she got inspiration from me. So it's really cool to give her a shout out back. It was a way to proc Adonia's ego without being on Sorceress, because that's like, have you guys ever used Adonia's ego? It's it's a wand, and you have to like maintain that buff. And then in the past, historically, people have done it on Stormweaver because you need a lot of infusions to get that buff, right? Because you need infusions turn into power charges, turn into damage. And Stormweaver gets so many infusions, but she had some tech where you were able to get a ton of infusions on any class. So that was pretty cool.
Oh
Well,
yeah, I
that-
think I saw your video on that.
Yeah.
It was like the
Gemling Spark.
Firestorm, Firestorm, and then that stuff. Yeah, that made Adonia even more OP.
Adonia's
Like,
Yeah.
stupid, dude.
it's still
It's nice
it's
'cause,
still
like-
so underutilized still.
Yeah. Because Adonia's is basically just a Sork ascendancy, right? It's all your damage can do ailments, which is what Sork does, and then it's gives you infusions. But if you are applying ailments, then you use Siphon Elements to get infusions. So basically, it felt like you were wasting a lot of potential to use it on Sork, but you kind of had to because it was too hard to proc. But now you just don't have to use it on Sork. You just get free Sork ascendancy on a one-handed wand.
Yeah. Rabbit and I got around that last league by
Yeah.
gear swapping. We didn't.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We did it.
Wait, every
did
time you
on-
casted it, you had to change a gear slot? That's
So
crazy.
Rabbit did it where he was only changing the body armor. What was the body armor? Red Flare Conduit. You put Red Flare
Yeah.
Conduit at the beginning of the map. You would snapshot Adonia's ego, and the buff would last for the entire map. I
doing more.
I
than
went
that?
to. I would do it to the point where I was swapping every single piece of gear. I min-maxed the snapshot to where it
Holy
was
shit.
lasting 13 minutes, and it was like
13?
amping my. Oh yeah, I was doing like
Wait, how do you even
180
do that? That's crazy.
It was like it was just maximum skill effect duration,
Oh,
like the whole web. Like it was a 15 mirror build. It was end of league last league with like community donating to it, but
wow.
it was just a pure snapshot. It was making elemental thorns do 180 million damage to Uber Arbiter in group. It was just
That's
like it was
insane.
ridiculous. Like,
Mine's 5 minutes. I thought that was good. 15
Well,
minutes? That's
so that was a
crazy.
15 mirror build, and that was last patch. So it does at the end of last patch. So you know, but
Yeah.
Adonia's egos, I hate. I don't ever want to do it again because of the gear swapping. The gear swapping was
Oh, yeah.
awful. I'm assuming you weren't gear swapping.
Mm.
Cool. I need to watch how you did it then, because I've been wanting to do
It's just
another
weapon swap,
Adonia build,
right?
But
It's just with a new. You can get infusions using spending ward. You can get, and it's not like an elemental infusion, but it works as an elemental infusion. What's the skill called? It's
The
called
Verisium infusion powered by Verisium.
yeah, that. Yeah, so it's just super simple. And then you can get 75% chance to get double power charges per consumption.
that's cool.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
yeah.
use OP items. I don't take advantage of broken stuff. So
Look, that Temple was a long league. I was bored by the end of that 6 months, man. We were doing dumb stuff. Had a lot of mirrors to play with. That's cool. I like items like that. Yes, to me, this patch, one of the big things that we like doesn't get talked about. I mean, sure, it gets talked about plenty, but the upgrading of new uniques, of the low level uniques, is like one of the best changes to this game for the like long term health of it. Like, I really hope this is going core and a forever feature.
Have you guys
because
been using that feature?
Oh yeah, I've been
Oh.
using a lot of the low level uniques in like their end game forms for like 3 different builds now, and
Oh, nice.
it is so much fun. Like, I'm consistently looking for what new weapon do I want to play a build with that's going to like it's level 80 version. Okay, let's see how it scales and stuff. I'm loving that feature a lot. I'm guessing you haven't messed with it much, AP.
Well, the unique I use is Malagaros, and I don't think that even really changes with the. I guess like a little bit of evasion, which I don't really need. So I haven't found a use for it yet. But
it's free ward.
League is still young. Yeah, that's true. Although, hold on, mine is 3 socket corrupted, so I can't do it
Yeah.
on that one.
It really sucks that you can't ward after the fact because there's so many
Yeah.
items that I want to, but
I mean, there's 2 things, right? Not being able to ward corrupted kind of sucks sometimes, but then also not being able to go backwards because I feel like
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I bricked my first body armor like day 2 of the league. I was so mad. It removed your energy shield. What? It's crazy. They didn't warn us about that, did they? Maybe I didn't watch the pressers enough.
yeah, they did. You also get to preview what
did?
the item looks like if you highlight over
true.
the result. But
I was just looking through it.
my thing is like I feel like overall equipment gets lowered in value once you put
yes.
it into the anvil. Like it
Right,
definitely
yeah.
lowers in value because people usually try to search up by the highest number of like, ES or whatever, and then they don't really do the runic ward search. So unless they're running a runic ward build, which I think is still fairly uncommon. So
Yeah.
usually at the moment you slap that thing into the Verisium anvil, it just lowers the value by a ton. And I was like, I really had to be like, do I really want to do this? Like, is this really necessary for my build? Because I bought this item or like crafted this item or whatever for like hundreds of divs. And I'm like, this is going to tank the value by like a half at least or something like that.
Or, yeah, by at least half. Like I've had
Yeah.
the same experience where I'll buy an item and I'll Runeforge it or whatever, and its value, like compared to what it was before, the value, like, because I don't know if it's just because people haven't gotten used to playing Ward yet, or because I do think Ward is very good. Maybe it's just a lot of friction around it. I'm not sure, but the value of Ward items is like someone would rather have an armor piece, like a gloves with 700 armor, than a gloves with 400 armor and 150 Ward. Like, and the value is just, I'm sure a lot of it is filters as well. Like they just don't know how to search them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just because people, I think the only people who really care about Ward are people who are playing pure Ward builds, probably, and that probably isn't very common, which is actually crazy
Or
because
if you have
pure
to
Ward is
spend Ward.
insanely powerful. Spending Ward, I don't even think you need that much Ward. You just slap on the Ward
You need, like,
remnants,
one piece
and
of Ward gear.
yeah, you need like 1 or 2 pieces of Ward gear. You slap on the Ward remnants, and you're basically good to go, unless you're like really spamming it, like my Bitter Dead build was.
Well, for my build, I use what's it called? Refutation, the parry block thing. You only need like 25 ward for it. So for every build that I didn't have a piece of ward gear on, I just slapped a singular ward rune into my gear, and that solved the cost of that skill. So you don't even need ward gear at that point, depending on what skill you're using.
Yeah, I really don't know if it's like a design problem or what, because I don't think that should be the case where you really have to be like, am I really going to absolutely just destroy this item's value? Like, do I really want to do this because it's going to completely tank it? I think that's probably a design flaw for sure.
It's also just emergent tech, right? A lot of people are going to shy away from that, play what they're comfortable with. So probably. But yeah, I do think you should be able to remove it. I also think for amulets that are corrupted, you should be able to reanoint that. You can do it in PoE1.
Really? I did not know that.
Can't do it in PoE2.
Yeah, that would be... I would love currencies for
Also,
both those things.
With the helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a lot of viewers who used... Sorry.
No, yeah, I also think if it's like connected to another currency that you can just use, if there's like, I don't think that should be a problem. And I know exactly what AP is going to say now because I've had the exact same thing happen.
The Raven Touch, like the 100 div rune that you put in the helmet, and then they bought a corrupted helmet so they can't anoint it.
Oh, I didn't know. That was me. That was literally me. Like, I woke up on, like, it was morning of day 3, and I woke up, you know, when you wake up, you log in, you're a little bit groggy, and you open your merchant tab, and you see, you know, 200 divs, like, yeah, baby, all my shit sold, let's go. I bought a new helmet. Fuck yeah, this helmet's got 300 more armor, it's got 30 more strength, big fucking upgrade. We're gonna Raven Shard this, and we're gonna get another fucking anoint. Slap that $150 Divine Raven Touch, just spent all the Divine I earned. I can't anoint this. Oh no, it's corrupted. And I went back to bed. I was furious. I was furious.
Well, luckily they patched that out, so you can't no longer put the thing in there.
Yeah, that's definitely just like obviously like a, you know, a noob thing to do. Clearly, you only have to make those mistakes once in life, but you know it does suck when that happens.
Yeah, luckily,
did you have
I
like something similar?
What'd you say? I didn't.
What happened to you again, Miso? That poofed something?
Oh, the jewel.
Yeah, the jewel. Because I had a Cadigan's Epiphany on my glove. I put a jewel in there, and then I Runeforged the glove, and then it ate the jewel, which they promptly fixed like a day or two after I made the video, which is really funny.
Just craft that jewel for like 200 divine.
It was like 100 divine jewel. I didn't craft it for 100, but it was like 100 divine. Yeah.
I still have 2 pictures on my I saved those pictures on my PC. I just posted them into our Discord here. Those were that was the immediate reaction that Miso had. It's perfect. You can watch it on his YouTube. There's a short. Yeah, at least he got a short out of it, and you can revel in his pain.
The life of an early access beta tester. Sometimes you have to lose those divines. Have you had anything like that happen to you, AP, where you just cataclysmic failure of divines?
I play perfectly, no mistakes here.
Hey, you know what? It's all of it is very much chump change, because if we compare ourselves to who was it that sold his mirror for 10 omens of chaotic quantity?
How
How does that
LFG.
even happen? How does that even happen?
He misclicked.
I still think about that.
He missed because you have the favorites, right? And then the favorites at the top, and then I did this a lot in the Path of Exile 1 League when I was when the favorite system first came out. But I would click on the favorites like one for divines because I just see divine and I click on it, not knowing that it was not realizing I clicked on the favorites one, and it changes both lines for you, right? So he was just doing it really fast, actually clicked the favorites one, and it's like turned it from like div to mirror. But also, who the heck has a mirror to div favorites? That's crazy. Is he out there doing that trade every single day or something like that? God damn.
But he has like all of them.
I do the same misclick as you as well. I don't favorite currency anymore. I just cannot help it. I just always click it wrong, so yeah.
Today I learned there's a favorite system. I don't know what we're talking about. You don't know Rabbit either? Cool. I'm not alone. Let's go.
No, I mean, I never used it. I
didn't know there was one.
Don't use it. Like the way it's placed just on the UI, it just lines up where your mouse cursor is after you like try and put in a normal manual trade, and it just messes it up.
I'm on autopilot all the time. That shit could have happened to me if I had that.
For sure.
100%.
Speaking of the auto trade house, what I can't believe they haven't done it yet. You know how there's an auto buy price where it's like you will instantly buy it and it automatically fills out to that. I don't understand why they don't have a second price where it's like best offer price, because sometimes there's like huge margins for like auto selling versus just being like patient but like the next best seller. And if they have two buttons, then it would naturally lower those margins and it would be better for everybody, I think.
I'm just showing, I'm showing how much of a tourist I am because I have no idea what you're even talking about. Auto buy? There's an auto buy feature?
It's just you just list an offer.
It autofills.
Okay. Sorry, I understand now. I get what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. It autofills to the price where you would instantly make the transaction. If you hold down Alt, you're going to see competing trades versus available trades. There is like sometimes a 20 div margin. Like I'm looking right now, div to Hinocore's locks. So you're losing out on possibly 20 divs for instant selling versus just being the next best offer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Seems a little sus why they don't have that feature in, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, help the flippers, I guess, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean, you have to like
we call ourselves arbitrage traders, okay? We're sophisticated like that.
Not here. I waste divines.
What else are you going to use gold for? As someone who actually plays the game 99% of the time, I've like 72 million gold I'm looking at right now. There's something you got to use it on, and then the easy answer is give it to Ange and make flips.
Until I started farming Expedition, I was gold starved for a very long time, but specifically because I'm on build 7. When you like the cost of changing passives is so absurd, but that's the only reason why I was out of gold. But now that I'm like I did Expedition for 2 days, that was giving me so much gold for whatever reason. I've got like 10 million now, so I was having a problem for a while there though, but not because of trade.
Do you guys always instant sell if you're doing a currency transaction? You just do whatever it fills out for?
Pretty much. No? Unless it's like a very big bulk one, I guess, because at that point you're losing quite a bit. Usually I just do like an instant sell. I just can't be bothered because I want it now.
Yeah, that's fair.
It depends.
That's kind of the thing, right?
With Lineage Gems, if like I'm selling an Ulnatol's or a Garukin's Resolve or whatever fuck it's called,
you're close.
I'll always get memed on for saying things wrong. I was close this time. Hell
it's better than Jet.
Listen, I try my best, all right. But if it's a big item, I'll do that. And sometimes with with omens right now. I just know what omens sell for. So, and I'm selling them for chaos orbs right now. So I just know what they normally go for. So like sometimes the autofill will be like 5 or 6 chaos orbs lower than normal. I won't sell at that price. I'll sell at the price I
You'll
know they normally
manually
go
change
for.
it. Yeah.
Yes. That's the only situations I do it in. Yeah, I think so. That was. What about you, Rabbit?
Huh? What about me?
He auto sells. He's already answered.
You said you auto sold?
I mean,
Okay.
nah, I mean, it just depends. When you're crafting and you just want to craft now, I'm way too impatient to wait even like 25 seconds. But most of the time, no. If it's just like something that I don't need right now, then yeah, you can always make a quick bug.
I'm so impatient sometimes. I'll go to buy something and it'll be like 104
Yeah,
chaos, and it'll go up to 106.
If it doesn't
so
immediately
I'll
fill.
immediately rebuy it for 106 chaos. Like I won't even.
Yeah.
I won't wait.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I do that.
I do
too.
that too.
You exit off immediately and you just go like, okay, I'll pay
Fuck
more.
it. Yeah, I won't wait either. Yeah. Okay, cool.
A series and patience. It's a gem. It's a support gem. Yep.
Yeah. I've seen about 40 of those before I got the communion finally. So,
Dude, that thing is so expensive right now. At series
It is,
communion, holy! I'm so
That's
glad I
also
got
another
it
good
before it
point, I
got
think.
super expensive.
yeah, it's not the only one as well, and I do think that is also another good discussion point because certain lineage support gems like Garukins or Raki Artas or Art Series
Ornamental.
Communion, they are the definition of build defining, and they are just way too expensive right now. And I wonder if that is intended or there's something going on because I think for Garukans it's very clear. I don't think that is intended. That it is that rare that you have like a 50-1 when it comes to Jade Isles and the
50 to
temporal
1
reservoirs.
I've had 40 Jade Owls for every Garukans I've found. And yes, I
That's
know it's in
crazy.
desert biomes and everything, and maybe you're not like specifically looking for desert biomes, but I don't know what AP what
Which
does
way
our
do you think
guest
it's
think
bugged?
about that?
Like, maybe Rakiata is supposed to be rare. Maybe we're getting a ton of these Jade Isles, and we're not supposed to be
I
getting
think
so many.
so.
Well,
Like,
I
how
think
expensive?
so,
It would be
because
like 1,000 div if it would, maybe more, because every
Yeah.
build wants this.
I see all three of them pretty equally. Like the non-sacred reservoir. I see the mansion.
No way.
and
There's
the
no
myth.
way. You
I
see
see the
Jade
mansion, the myth.
Isles? No way. Jade Isles is so
I
much
see
more
a-
common, isn't it?
I do see a lot more Jade Isles than the other two, but I will say, like, what I meant was like I see the other three pretty common, compared to Sacred Reservoir, which is like I almost never see them. I don't know if that's bugged. I think Miso last week on the podcast mentioned that maybe it'd be cool if like every league they changed which one's more common to kind of spice up the economy. I don't know if that's their plan, but there definitely is a very interesting spawn rate that doesn't make sense.
The Garukans is under spawning, is what you're saying.
I think so.
I mean, it feels like it to me.
He's saying he's seeing haunted mist mansion or mansion in the mist.
Yes,
and sealed vault and Jade Isles way more commonly than Sacred Reservoir is what he's saying. He's saying those three spawn at kind of an equal rate, whereas the Sacred Reservoir.
Well, I wouldn't say equal rate. I would say that I do agree.
Yeah,
Jade Isles
is
like,
very
I'll
common.
get 6 Jade Isles in one spot for some reason. I don't know what that is, but
let's just say a much higher rate.
I've done maybe 5 Sacred Reservoirs this league, and I've done probably close to 150 Jade Isles. So, like, it's been.
Do those others
crazy
drop anything good, or is it just Jade Isles and they don't?
Haunted Mansions drops Rigwalds, which sells for 150 divine right now.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have the mansions, and the mansions
been
are
ignoring those.
super fast to run, you can get to the like it's not like the campaign version where you have to like go upstairs, go down, and around. In the Lineage map version, you can literally go straight to the center. So some of those maps, like the entrance is 2 feet in front of you, and you do the boss in like 5 seconds. So
Oh, nice.
the only thing about mansion is having to get all the actual nodes for the mansion. You have to clear like 4 maps or something.
Yeah, and sometimes they backtrack and you can't use tablets on the
Yeah.
backtracked maps, and it feels terrible.
That's always shit. I don't know why that happens. That's so bad. But yeah.
And the other one, is it just Adolui's bloodletting, or is there a good one on
Yeah,
that
it's
one?
just bloodletting.
It,
Yep.
and I think bloodletting's like 2 divine, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I don't know if it's gone up.
terrible.
It's not
Yeah.
good this league. The other good lineage gem is Ulna Tolls.
From Zesh.
Though
That's
are
like
any of the
400.
lineage gems from Expedition selling well? Isn't that where all the Utrids drops? Is that where they still
Those
drop?
used to be
Olaf.
those used to
Olaf?
be extremely expensive in the last league,
What are they
and they are
now?
all pretty. They are very reasonably priced for
I
what they
see.
offer. They are very. I don't know the exact ones, but I was surprised when I was making a new build and I implemented, I think, 3 of them. I was surprised at how cheap they were because how massively powerful they are as well, and just fit into any build. My whole discussion point, like my whole point here on this one was, I don't think it's a good thing that there are certain lineage support gems that are this build defining that are 500 divines plus.
I mean, I
You don't
wouldn't
think
say
you
They're
can
something
solve
like
completely
this, though?
disconnected.
I think there are budget ways to do this, right? Like Rakiatas, you just do but like exposure with Elite Curse.
Weakness,
I don't know
yeah.
about
True.
Garacons. I think that's not mandated. Is that build defining?
Well, the thing is, for me, something like Rakiatas, there is an opportunity a huge opportunity cost of 2 skill slots to make that work, right? That to me seems pretty big. Like a lot of times at least many of the builds I play, a lot of times I'm coming up to, almost always maxing out the amount of skills that I'm putting on my tree, whether it be spirit gems versus like regular skills, and making it so I'm losing 2 skills for Rakiatas is pretty big. But something like Garacons, I feel for me is more, not really, I wouldn't define either of them as build defining, but I think
Agreed.
for me, at least Garacons is less of an opportunity cost, whereas something like Rakiatas is like, yeah, it's pretty big for my build because I literally can't run the 2 other spirit gems that I'm trying to run in this build without Rakiatas. But also
But
they
that's
nerfed
isolated
Rakiatas.
to your build, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, like I don't lose skill slots by putting in Rakiatas. What are you losing?
No, so you're saying, you can replace Rakiatas with Elemental Weakness and Frostbomb, or something like that,
Yeah.
right? The Curse and Frostbomb. That's 2 skill slots.
Okay.
That's an opportunity cost of
I see what
2
you're
skill
saying.
slots.
And it's also you need to press
I
the
see what you're
buttons,
saying
which
now.
is annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like Rakiatas to me is a bigger like build, like whatever. It's like sometimes a bigger requirement than Garacons, because Garacons is simply just damage, whereas Rakiatas is literally you're losing skills for not having
I thought you
it.
meant opportunity cost as in like it hurts you to put on Rakiatas, but you're
Yeah,
saying
that's
it's
what I
like
thought you meant, too.
extremely good to put it on, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's extremely good. Like the opportunity cost of not putting on. Yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Miso. Yeah, like I don't see any of the lineage gems. Like in certain very specific situations, you can call some of the lineage gems build defining. If you're doing something with like Ulna Tolls, where you're enabling it to do armor break, Herald of Ice chaining, like sure, you can call that like or mechanic defining, all right. But overall, I would say most of them are build enabling, and everyone just wants them because they're super, like they just make your build better. And I think it's good that those things are expensive, because every build that I play, I'm like, because usually like I dump a build's price into divines, I get the new gear for the new character, get them set up, and usually during that cycle I can't afford like to get a new Ulna Tolls for the build or something, right? I don't have that much divine laying around usually, and then when I'm playing this new character, I get to work towards that. I'm a very like it's hard to compare our experience to the casual viewers. Rabbit brought this up from the perspective of a casual wanting these items. To me, that's just FOMO. They're missing out on. They're just upset. They're not getting all that power because they can't get to it. But maybe I'm just wrong, but I don't think there's any build that I've played that has been defined by those.
I would agree.
And
Yeah.
Personally,
I
I think enabling is a much better word. I
Well,
probably
I-
like build enabling makes much more sense. Yeah.
to me, that's like Aziri's communion, kind of, because it's like literally kind of like once again, right, lets you get another entirely separate seal gem that could make your build really, really strong and kind of enable it. Like I can see Aziri's communion being kind of on that borderline, but for the most part, like whether it's like Garacons or Rakiatas, I apply the same rule as like Headhunter Mageblood of like if your build can't operate without the Headhunter or Mageblood, it's probably not a very good build to begin with. So that's how I feel like
Agreed.
with
Yeah.
most of like the lineage support gems, where it's like if your build doesn't work without Rakiatas, the build's probably just bad.
There are also upsides of
Yeah,
these
that's-
expensive gems that are very powerful, right? Like, I don't know if I'd be still having so much fun 5 weeks into the league if they didn't add so much more chase high-end power, right? And then maybe that translates to
Yeah,
a
that's true.
non-streamer. They'll play like maybe 3 months, 4 months instead of 2 months otherwise. So
Yeah.
it does extend the
And
shelf life, I think.
In general, chase items are just the best thing in this game. Like
Yeah.
we've gotten a few more real chase items now in the game, and it just makes it infinitely better. And I think this goes for the streamer perspective or the sweaty lots of time to place perspective and the more casual focus side, because it's always nice. Because I've seen people in my chat over the past 7 days when I was just doing the voices farming. Now I don't know if you can call it voices farming though if you're not getting it, but I've seen people in my chat go, oh, I've got like I was just like doing this last night because you were doing it, and I've gotten it in like 18 runs. And that's amazing. That can happen to anyone. And I'm here at 250 and I haven't gotten it. But just because you're not playing as much, it can still happen and everything.
Yes.
And to me, that is always, and I've like said this 15,000 times already on the podcast. This is why I play ARPGs. Because I want exactly those moments of oh, holy shit, I've played X amount of hours to get this, and now I finally got it. That's exactly why I play RPGs, and I think we need more of that in PvE2. I think PvE2 has a unique opportunity of being an ARPG that is actually the spiritual successor for Diablo 2, because that is the game that
you haven't mentioned that in a while. Holy shit!
Yeah, the boxes are not up there, so I'm not reminded.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen this, which I think is a good thing, right? If Rakiatas and stuff is more common, it would, like in my opinion, it's good that they're this expensive. I see commonly in my chat, dude, I just got a Mage Blood. I'm gonna sell it and fund my build. Dude, I just got a Rakiatas Flow. I'm selling it and buying a new weapon. Like, just like I know people will like it's awesome, like these items are awesome to use, but they're also these big points of like I get to sell this and then I get to make my build exponentially better because of this one item that I sold. I think from that perspective, I've seen way more people hyped about getting a Rakiatas to sell it than they are about wanting to use it in their builds,
Yeah.
And adding more of these chase drops, right? That widens the pool, so just the more you play, you'll drop one of them, right? You might not drop the one you want, but you'll probably drop something eventually. I haven't dropped a Rakiatas yet. I've tried so hard, but I have gotten the Mage Blood. So,
did you get so far as well?
Speaking of chase drops, now there's chase runes. Have you seen the price of some of these socketables? They're going crazy.
Oh yeah, some socketables are crazy. Like, how do you like the like you have all the perfect runes that you have to use like the perfect currency on. Those are going for divines now.
You have to extract.
Albert's Legacy is still so many divines.
What do you guys think about these runes? Because I personally was really skeptical before the league when I saw the announcement, like we're adding hundreds of new runes. I was like, why don't they just put this on a crafting bench and then people can like sink their divines into crafting these? That's how I felt. I actually kind of like them. I think they're working fine. Do you guys have any opinion like on launch versus experiencing it yourself?
I've always just kind of been like, I have faith in GGG of making runes work.
Yeah.
I was never like one of the ones that like everyone was memeing. Like there was the picture on Reddit that was like the rune tab that was like 1 million runes and stuff. Like everyone was dooming and stuff. I didn't have that initial vibe. I was like, oh, this might. This yeah, that was like this might get a little bit like a little scary at times, but like to me, it's like if there was eventually 1,000 runes, and I was looking at it from the perspective of a build creator, so mine's very narrow perspective. Like 1,000 new runes means like there's going to be so many crazy ways to modify your build. So I was only looking at it from that perspective. Obviously, the bloat would have been a problem, but for me, I think the runes are freaking awesome. I think they're so like every build I look up, one of the first things I want to look at, like if they're doing a Morior's build, there's so many different runes you put in Morior's right now. Like it's like runes are super diverse right now. Before it would used to be just very much like stat chaos res runes, like soul cores in it or something. But I don't know. I very much like the state of runes. Obviously, I think there needs to be some pruning if they're going to add more over time, which I assume we're going to get more over time. But
well, that's what a loot filter is for, right? Are you guys hiding runes?
True.
I'm hiding some of them.
I mean,
I'm using Fub's filter, so he hides like all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really pruning for filter for me. It's more of there's so much bloat that actually finding runes and what rune is actually used for your build becomes really impossible. Like
that can be a good thing for a creator, though, right? People are going to rely on you.
I mean, I don't like that we're here to solve a problem that shouldn't exist. Like I think like. If you have to go look at a creator to go figure out what rune's good for your build because it's way too hard for you to actually sift through them, I think that's a design problem. Like I don't know. It's just there's no way for you to easily sift through the runes to figure out what the like it's like let me ask you guys, like, do you know if a rune exists where it does a rune exist where, let's just say, I don't know, cooldown of war cries by 30% or cooldown of war cries? Do you guys know if there's a rune that does that? I don't.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
I know there's a soul core for war cries, isn't there?
Yeah, what does it do though?
That specific one.
What does it do? We don't know, right? And I think that's a problem.
Well, but if one of us had mained a war cry bill, I think we would have known that. Though.
Well, the thing is, if the selection of runes was less, right, you would have a much better idea about what they do. Like, for example, even uniques. There's so many uniques out there, but we know for the most part what all the most of the uniques do.
No way. I probably could like pull out like 10 uniques out my ass, and I guarantee like some like I feel like uniques are the exact same situation as runes. Like, there's just so many of them. Like, I agree with what you're saying, that there are probably plenty of runes that's like, I could pull up this rune and like, it's like, oh shit, that's cool. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because what you described is, to me, is a good thing. It's like, what is that Warcry rune? Well, now if I go play a Warcry build, that means there's, a cool Warcry rune I could potentially use.
If I play a Warcry build, though, I'm going to go into the trade search, like the auto buy search, and just type in like Warcry and just see like what populates. And it'll probably show that, right?
Sure.
That's in the end. That's most likely the best way of solving those issues is just using the search. I think also just on that whole discussion, I think two things can be true at the same time.
Yes,
it can be true that there's maybe a few too many, but that doesn't mean that this whole system is flawed.
Oh, I don't think the system is bad.
Yeah, exactly. So. And that's what you mean by pruning or pruning.
Yeah,
right?
There's just too much
like improve the system
bloat right now, and there's no good way to actually sift through them. Like, again, if you want to be like, hey, is there something that does this, or it's like, oh, what is actually usable for the glove slot or whatever? You type in glove, and then like a whole list like pops up, and now you got to go like, which one does this? Does this one good? Oh, wait, this doesn't even work for gloves. And it's also like some work for armors. So you could put it in the glove slot, but then it works for any piece. Some of them only work for gloves. And then you're just like, is this like, now I've got to search gloves and I got to search armor. And then like, there's just so much stuff, like so much bloat in there that I just really don't like.
Like, if you're trying to find a body armor rune, like you have to look for body armor runes, but then you have to look for like, armor general runes and stuff, and then general soul cores, and then general rune, like, the filters for it are
fix that with how you search, though, right?
Yes.
I agree. Like, I think if you type in glove rune in the auto buy thing, it should be able to put the body armor or like the generic armor stuff in there as well. That would be really handy, because then you should have a whole list. I don't think that that's bad. As long as you can see every rune that can go in the glove that does something for it, you don't see the other stuff. Maybe they need to implement something like that. Something that I was worried. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead,
Well,
AP.
what I was worried about on League Start was that with so many different runes, you wouldn't be able to find the ones you needed at League Start. Like, if you want a Fire Res rune, what are the odds of dropping that when there's like hundreds? But Expedition was actually pretty good at solving that, right? That gives you like a whole list of different runes. You just pick the one you need.
It
So
definitely
that was
helped. But if if it goes away from core, which it will,
That's
then
true.
we're gonna come into that problem again, which was one of our complaints about runes this
But
entire
you
time.
just spec towards Expedition right at the start if you want the runes, right?
Not during campaign though.
That's true, yeah.
So you wouldn't say it's ruining the game?
Stop. You're grounded. You're grounded.
I
Okay.
expected it to be ruining the game, but yeah,
stole that
for me
from
it's
YouTube.
not as bad as I was expecting. In fact,
For
it's
me,
fine.
I really liked runes on a high end from like a, hey, this is really cool for like your builds, like really build defining,
Yes.
or like really improves your character. Like it's really cool to have those chase items. Like I really like how they add a separate part to the economy. It's just, there's a lot of useless runes, and then on the lower end when you're trying to like the whole thing about runes was like, hey, it's a replacement for the crafting bench. Like if you have a problem with something, go use a rune, right? But again, the problem comes when I'm in the campaign, I need fire res, and I can't get a freaking desert rune,
Even in endgame, I think the rune system still has some friction, but it's like exponentially better this patch. Like I get an example in my current build, I'm doing Giant's Blood with a two-handed mace and Chernobog. And for a lot of the early mid game to end game, I was using Astramentis, but there's Legacy of Greymake. Greymake is the unique helmet that gives you a lot of attributes, and Legacy of Greymake gives you 50 all attributes. So having that rune in my helmet allowed me to ditch Astramentis while still keeping the Giant's Blood set up and min-max other ways. So I agree with you completely. At the high level, it is in almost an amazing state. Like it's so much better than before. At the low level, I don't know. Like I almost disagree with the word bloat because I don't want them to remove runes. I want them to buff the bad ones. I was thinking about farming Ultimatum today because I haven't done any Ultimatum farming in a long time. And when I was looking at the runes and Souls cores that drop from Ultimatum, there are 4 of them that sell well. 4 that sell for Chaos Orbs. Chaos Orbs. The rest are shit. So I don't want to go and like prune those runes or soul cores. I want them to be buffed, made better to where they have value now. That's what it feels like. It's just a lot of the bad ones just like I don't want them removed, but they could be made exponentially better and make them valuable because they're just like I don't like right now you're making maybe it looked like maybe 17 to 20 divine per hour in Ultimatum, and that's nowhere near competitive, and that's because you're not getting good runes. Most of your divines comes from if you're selling the freaking fates,
The fragments, yeah.
and you're not but who wants to do that? You want to be doing trial master runs for the adorn drop, so you're not making really any divines per hour if you're doing trial master runs. If you're self farming trial master, you're basically losing money because you're not making anything really. So I just think they just need to buff a bunch of bad ones.
And they've
Just buff
kind
that
of
mechanic, period.
Yeah, buff just
I mean, they
ultimately
already
complete rework.
they already talked about that, right?
Yeah.
That they are going to look at, and I think we talked about it last week or the week before on the Gassi podcast about that. That's probably going to come in the future. That's maybe
Refub?
no, we also talked about it. That it's probably going to be an update or a leak where it's going to be Trial of the Ancestor leak or something, and then they probably also go over the Chaos Trials and the Sekama trial as well, right? So, what was I saying? I think with the runes, they've kind of backed themselves, like pushed themselves into a corner a little bit because we have so many now, and some of the bad runes can't just be outright deleted from the game because there is going to be that one person that is like, what my poison rune or my bleed
Right.
focus rune, So we gotta have some of those because they can't just be outright deleted, and that's kind of the situation that they've put themselves into because for every single archetype in the future now there has to be some runes in the future again to be like, oh yeah, there's this bleed proliferation incision build now that has to have a glove rune that boosts the chance to get incision or something. So yeah, even though 99.9% of people are never going to use that one rune, it still has some merits to be in the game still. So I don't know if I like that, or if that would probably be considered bloat, I guess. But there is that one person that will play it. So
But
I
even
don't
from
know.
a game
Up to you.
design perspective, you do need to have quote unquote bad runes, because if every rune is made better, then the other runes that were good are comparatively made worse, right?
Yeah,
If
it's
there's
just
a
power
drop
creep.
pool, you need to get like a certain amount of soul cores to drop per run, and if they're always good, then right, then you're
Yeah.
there needs to
Then
be
the
some
value is also
happen.
just going to go down of all of those runes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I think the big issue with Ultimatum, which I think everyone can agree with, is the fact that you have to do 3 runs per Trial Master versus, any other content you can do
Yeah.
1 run for the end game boss,
Yeah.
which is way too much friction. You should just, if you're doing a high level Ultimatum, you kill 3 bosses, they should each drop their fate. Like, and you do a Trial Master every run. Why not? I don't see an issue with that.
It's
I want
definitely
to talk
very
really. Go ahead.
unequal compared to Sekima's. The Sekima's like it's self-sustaining. You don't gotta do multiple runs. Like it just yeah. Given that Sekima's does technically take longer if you're like on baseline gear, it ends up being way shorter later on down the line because of just the inherent design of Sekima's
It literally
versus.
feels like you get the Giga drop or bust, right? You need to do 3 runs and it's such a low odds. It just doesn't feel good. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like
And
farm
ATDs are starting to
voices.
go up now. ATDs are really getting expensive. Spirit gain damage and double gain damage ATDs are starting to get juicy. So
Which is
if I'm
kind
in
of
sync them, it's
crazy
good.
because the rare jewels are even crazier now. It's super surprising to me that ATDs are this expensive still.
Huh.
They were cheap for the first 2 weeks to the point where I wasn't farming them, but now they're back to their old prices. Like they're as expensive as they were before. Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about that. When I want to talk about the player power right now, and the Jules meta right now. We've talked about this. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was with Alcohol pre-patch where we talked about. I think it was actually Dreamcore. Where we talked about how endgame builds in the last few patches they would just go around to the outside of the tree, and by like level 96, if you're min max, it would be Jewel node, Jewel node, Jewel node, Jewel node, Jewel node, Jewel node. Are you guys still finding yourselves doing that this patch?
I'm
Because to me,
100% doing that on my Gemling
yeah,
Spark. Yeah. There's
yeah,
too
it feels
many
like I'm
good
doing
unique
it even
jewels. Power
more.
creep and unique jewels. I'm not even using the. Are you guys crafting those like 5 mod perfect jewels? I haven't even done that yet, and I still feel the need to grab these jewel slots.
Just getting
Crazy.
like time lock, like just all the unique jewels. They're just too
Yeah.
good. They're
There's too
just too
many of them.
good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm guessing you guys have the same experience, Miso Rabbit.
It depends on the build ish. Like some builds I naturally will stretch out on the tree. Some builds I don't stretch out on the tree as much, but some builds run more unique jewels and some builds use less. So it kind of depends. Like my last build, the Bitter Dead build, wasn't really doing that as much, but this build right now, where I literally pathed like 5. No, I think I took 6 or 7 nodes to just get to Jewel Socket because I'm like, I
I
need
took
this
8.
Jewel
I took 8
Socket.
to get one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Crazy.
it's a little bit of a mixture. I think we were talking about it on the PAL podcast, and it was like literally he also I think took 8 to get to another Jewel Socket.
Voices is just like a +1 mandatory jewel slot if you're min-maxing now, right? Like, so
Mhm.
everybody
Crazy.
has to take one more
I
now.
don't understand the design. Like it's cool, sure, voice is cool, but it's just literally if you're a min maxer and you have a rare jewel in your build, that rare jewel should be a voices, and then you have 2 rare jewels at minimum,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It feels forced, but I don't know. It's a cool drop for sure. I've only ever done one Adorn build, but I imagine doing an Adorn build with a 4 voices would be just the craziest shit. So I get the chase of wanting it in the game for sure.
I think at the very
Uh,
minimum, voices should be kind of like in Path of Exile 1 voices, where it costs skill points to spec into the specific slots. Because
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't. That's very strange.
yeah, it's just
No
straight up.
downside.
You just get free, 0 downside. I think at the very minimum, it should cost skill points to spec into each of those sockets.
And that's why it's just
Interesting.
the absolute no-brainer item of PV2 right now, and that's hence the price. Because why wouldn't you use it? Even the 2-socket one is just
How much is 2-socket right now?
400,
like
500,
600.
like that? 600.
Oh my god, it's gone up to 6? What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the unidentified ones are like 2.5k now.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
But it's so incredibly rare on trade, and due to the fact that most people that actually have it are also just using it. I think there's less overall voices on trade. There's like less than 150 on trade right now, which is unheard of, kind of, because there's probably 10, 20, 30 times the amount actually in circulation right now. It's just people are using it.
I
Yeah,
actually think it's like, for me, it's very interesting. So, because when we talk about that conversation, it's because the other day somebody asked me, what's more overpowered, adorned or voices? And then I'm like, well, I think like adorned definitely is like a lot more build defining, but voices is more overpowered to me because it's literally zero downside and is used in every single build. And then he asked me, well, why is adorned more expensive? And then I'm like, that's interesting. I feel like if drop rates are equal and everything, adorned should be cheaper than voices. But I think it's actually, and I was looking at this at the top builds. I was going down the line and the ladder, like all top level. Like, of course, it's not like a 1-to-1 for this, but I was going down the line for every single build on the ladder at like the top, right? And I'm like, the reason why voice is not more expensive is because people just don't use it for some reason. Like, I guess they might feel like they don't need the extra power, they don't need whatever, they don't need to pay for it. That's why they don't buy it. And that's why voices are actually cheaper than Adorns. Because I went down the list. I'm like, this guy could be using voices. 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 And they just, none of them were using it. So at the moment that we just don't really have the kind of like the ceiling, content ceiling to where every build kind of needs to use it. And it's actually very interesting because I think voices is like extremely overpowered, but like not many people are actually taking advantage of it.
I'll just real quick because I have another follow-up point. But when you said adorned is more expensive than voices, are we talking about bad adorns too, or just like the
Well,
best of the
I'm
adorns
just saying
people
an
want to use?
unid'd adorns.
Oh, unidentified. I
Unidentified, yeah.
see. I see. Okay.
That's
Okay.
I think that's the
I
best
understand
metric,
now.
right? To just
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good metric.
because
I think so. I think agreed. I think the number one point you made there was the content doesn't justify it. There's almost no situation where your build needs to run a voices to clear any more content, right? Very, very rarely or very specific builds would be enabled in that way. And I feel like this might just be my perspective. I'm curious what you guys are. But when I'm making a build, there is a point where like I could mathematically make it probably twice as good, 10 times as good, but there's this point where like I don't have any more motivation to spend that kind of divine. Like it almost feels like I'm wasting the divine making the build better. And I would like, to me, I'd rather work on the next build. I'd rather invest that divine into other stuff. As OP as voices is, and you're right, there's 4 or 5 builds I could have slapped voices in. The idea of me like spending that divine for the +2 voices just to put 2 jewel slots into it, as opposed to doing anything else with my divine, while yes, I could do that, it is probably the last thing I would checkmark on my list of optimization, and I never get that far with optimizing my builds, and I assume most people don't as well. Very few people are going to be optimizing to that level. So I guess that's why you don't see it as much right now. But I do think it's largely because of what you said about the content doesn't justify needing that much power yet. What are your thoughts, AP?
Well, Dorn is mostly just more power, right? More damage. And once you have enough damage, you might want to scale stuff like quality of life, movement speed, rarity. Are you really trying to min-max for damage at that point? I think maybe also Adorn is just really expensive because, well, first of all, supply and demand. Nobody wants to run the content that drops the Adorned, right? And also,
True.
you also have to craft like really, really good rare jewels, and it's kind of it's annoying to craft that as well. So there's a lot of barrier to entry, whereas voices, you just slap it on and you don't have to think, right?
Well, if
So,
that's the case, then Adorn should be cheaper because not as many people want to use it, right?
but maybe no one's even carrying a farm for it. I'm not sure.
Well, if that lowers supply, then that would also make it more expensive, right?
Wait, if no one's
I mean,
farming for it, then it would there'd be less supply, so it'd be more expensive, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
No?
Yeah. But
And
Yeah.
also, it's not just that you get it outright. You have to still hit the cultivation, and then there's another roll range, right?
Yeah,
So
getting the good ones that
Yeah.
make the rare jewels better is like hard. So, yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's
for
hard
sure.
to I think it's hard to argue that voices is in like quote unquote better than adorned when voices is something that enables adorned even more, you know? It's
Yeah.
like hard to argue that. So
That's true.
there's no build that
Right.
doesn't want to use Adorn voices.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no build that
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah,
want to use
it's
it.
just
There's plenty of builds that I would not want to force an adorned into, though. But yes, there was like if I had a +4 voices that I wasn't planning on selling, I would just slap that into every single build I made, whether they were adorned or not. Right? Like,
I also
so-
just don't want to remove my unique jewels. Like these all do so much. From nothing, that can save you so many passive points of pathing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
100%.
Megalomaniac, you get like 1 guaranteed anoint. That's really good for build creators because that's anywhere on the tree. So it could be the opposite end of the tree. You could get something build enabling. That's incredibly good. You don't want to take that off. Heart of the Well,
yeah,
arguably better damage than a rare jewel. And then Prism of Belief is like +3 to your skill. So there's just like what do you,
You
take
also
off? You need
have-
to take off a lot of these to fit in the adorns because
you also have
wanna-
Undying Hates. Undying Hates,
That's
like if
true,
you're
that's
using
true.
like Aminamu's the recoup or the life prevention, the 20% of life recovery one. That
Against
one
the
I fit
darkness as
into
well. Right.
against the darkness, yeah. And then a Flesh Crucible. I'm using a Flesh Crucible for Mind Over Matter in my build right now because I'm not using mana, so it's just a free defensive layer. So, and you made a good point earlier that I don't think we've ever really talked about. You said that jewels, especially with Adorned, it's just a damage increase. Jewels don't really increase your defensives, and that's like I feel like everybody is always like, how do I get my build tankier? How do I get my build tankier? Let me be clear. If you're playing
Energy
energy
shield.
shield builds, yeah, let me be clear. I saw you shake your finger. I was like, oh right, I don't play the top half of the tree. I don't play those blue builds. They're lucky. We only get if you're playing the bottom half of the tree. Your defensive increase is 2% increased strength. Like that's
30
what you get usually. Sometimes
to
you do the
40
armor jewels, but
30 to 40% more energy or increased energy shield per jewel with an adorned is kind of massive, yeah.
and
You
that's
need to make
without the
red
prefix
voices, yeah.
boosting, right? Like with prefix boosting, I'm sure that gets a lot higher per jewel.
It's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Do
Yeah.
you guys think they intended that? That those 5 mod rare jewels?
I don't
Or was
think
that like
so.
an oversight?
I think it
There's
was an
no
oversight because it's way too
Yeah.
overpowered. People were asking me like in my stream last night, do you think they're gonna remove 5 modded jewels because they're so strong and easy to craft? I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think the part that's so overpowered about them is the fact you just chaos spam to get the perfect prefixes or the perfect suffixes when the other ones are all set. Like basically, you can kind of deterministically get all 5 slots if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
I've not done it myself, but it seems very insane. I've done one Adorn build last league. That was my only first Adorn build ever, and I can't imagine the power that build would have had if I was doing this crazy rare jewel crafting. It would have been insane. Some of the rare jewels I'm seeing crafted are freaking nuts. It just like one jewel is almost giving more power than a piece of gear. It's just crazy the jewels people can craft, like with crit bonus or the minion ones. It's nuts.
Timeless jewels are ridiculous now.
Oh yeah, timeless jewels.
AP just mentioned the From Nothing, and one of the most popular From Nothing combinations right now is just Conduit. Because that area of the passive tree, I don't know for which build specifically, but especially for like caster builds, this area is just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. You put Conduit, and then you have this area around that, and then you put a Time Lost Jewel in the upper jewel slot there. It's insane. The Time Lost Jewel that I have in there right now gives me like, I don't think I'm over exaggerating. It gives me around 80% increased critical hit chance and around, I think, 130 critical damage bonus or something. Because it's complete. It's ridiculous. It is so good. No,
You have to
it's
go
even
through a
more
lot
than
of
that.
a lot of the jewels to find one that was that good? Just like buy and sell, or like
No,
divine spam?
no,
or-
it's
Craft, right?
it's guaranteed.
those are the jewel was around 100 divines, which is ridiculous price for what it offers.
But the number doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's just like any of them will work like that, or you bought it and the guy already advertised this is gonna give
Oh
you
no,
all
he's
this.
talking about the time lost rare jewels.
The rare ones.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
True,
the time lost rare jewels.
Oh,
the
yeah, that
upgrades
stuff
radius
is-
to large, and then
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I've used
my
that in like
sorry.
3 builds this league.
just one more. My lightning bolt, and people that have made a build or know like the numbers will know how insane it is. The jewel, my lightning bolt goes from 62,000, which that one time loss jewel, it goes from 62,000 to 110 with one jewel.
That's crazy.
Jewels are crazy. They're
Literally
crazy.
doubling the
Well, it's
tooltip
2 jewels,
DPS.
right? Because you're using the from nothing. But yeah,
Well,
No,
I
I'm
mean,
an oracle, so I can take
Oh.
conduit for free.
nice. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oracle's awesome. Yeah, jewels are crazy. I've used the multiple time loss build jewels. The amount of power you can get from the increased notable effect, I just love it. Just boosting specific notables are so much fun. Yeah, jewels just seem too good. Or not, I don't want to say too good, but they're very, very, very good. There's a lot of player power from them. Question for you guys. This was popped up in my chat. Someone pointed out, shout out to Kodachi. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Kodachi is, a fellow build maker. He said that he had a problem. I don't want to like misquote him, but he was essentially said that Gemling was too overpowered. That he felt that for a lot of archetypes, that with what Gemling's quality was giving them, that he felt required to play Gemling, and he was going to feel required to play Gemling for a lot of his builds going forward. And I'm on my 7th build. This is my first Gemling build that I've played of the league. I'm doing a Wind Dancer Gemling build. They had nerfed Wind Dancer in 0.4, but in 0.5 with Gemling's quality, they made it to where it actually does more damage than it did before. So Wind Dancer is actually really good on Gemling to the point that you can only do a Wind Dancer build on a Gemling now. So I get his perspective from there, but I just have not to this point, I don't think any of the previous 6 builds I have done would have performed better on Gemling. But I do get what he's saying, where there are these outlier ascendancies now. Shaman with the bonded runes, they some builds perform exponentially better on it. Or you have martial artists with its Way of the Stone Fist. Some builds can only be played on martial artists. Do you guys feel that? Do you feel the power of these new ascendancies, or specifically Gemling making your builds PoE 2 is supposed to be the game, and PoE is supposed to be the game where you can do anything on any character, any build, right? But do you think these ascendancies, specifically Gemling, is going too far in a direction that forces you down archetypes? Have you felt that pull at all, or no? Let's start with AP.
Have we all played Gemling? I'm playing a Gemling right now.
I'm playing a Gemling.
Rabbit probably
Not yet.
hasn't.
I haven't.
It has not.
I haven't.
The league is still young, Rabbit.
Yeah.
You know what?
I will. I will.
Gemling is
100%.
freaking nuts, dude.
I know. I will. But that's also why my answer would be no. But I don't want to take AP spot.
I literally just transplanted my Castle and Crit Comet Sork onto Gemling, and I basically got to keep all my Sork's power and get just insane extra power. It's just generically extremely good. I don't even think it's just the quality. Gemling gets so much stuff. It gives a lot of movement speed. As Gemling, you want to balance all your supports to be equal, right? Same blue, same red, same green, and then you get triple benefits. So I'm just running around the map, holding down Spark, and I'm still sprinting because you basically get mobility in the ascendancy, but ×2. And you can still use mobility. So you're super fast. As the less cost multiplier, it's efficiency. You have one of those as well, which you can stack as well. So it's just generically good for casters. The less cost from efficiency is better than the other scaling, which is the one you get from the crafting on gear. What's that one called? Mana cost efficiency. Less multiplier is way better than that.
Cost efficiency.
So it's just generic power. You get +2 skill levels, and then
Crit
obviously,
immunity too?
yeah, you get crit immunity, and then just put on 2 unset rings, have a ton of different synergistic skills. So yeah, the quality is pretty crazy.
Well,
Cast on ailment just costs half the spirit. arc gets like a massive more multiplier. Like it adds up. When you're using a ton of skills, it really adds up.
Well,
Yes.
It's just generically powerful.
I
Definitely
would
gonna get
argue that all the points that you made are that about Gemling being really strong is very interesting because none of those were actually changed since last patch. They were all here, and
Interesting.
Gemling was considered the weakest ascendancy last patch.
Well,
The only thing they
Well-
changed was the quality, pretty much.
huh.
Because the three things, like the stacking, the
Well,
red,
yeah,
blue,
all that stuff there.
green was
Yeah.
all there. The +2 skills, all there, right? Literally, the only thing that they changed out of the Gemling class in that situation was the quality. That's the only thing that changed.
The moat thing, well, he didn't
And the
mention
moat thing, yeah, the moat thing, the
is
moat thing,
very
yeah,
good
the moat
too
thing
as
is very
well. The
good.
moat thing is new as well.
But I don't
Yeah.
think that Gemling would have been considered overpowered at all, or probably would barely be played still, even if they had the moats, right?
I haven't played a generic like caster build that I copy pasted over to Gemling. I went and specifically did a build that was like very clearly only could be done on Gemling, right? Like
You
Wind
needed the
Dancer.
quality.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, I needed the quality. You can't do a Wind Dancer build on another ascendancy. And what I found along the way was like literally what you said, AP, where it was like all of these side skills end up getting these huge benefits from it. So I was running Chernobog to decrease my damage, and Magma Barrier's alt quality is increased maximum block chance. So I'm running around at 69% block chance, which is not just a big defensive layer, but also increases my damage because of Chernobog, right? So so the extra quality of part of Magma Barrier, which I was already running because I needed the block chance to hit the block cap anyway for Chernobog, like double dipping that, right? Like there's many different things in my build where it's just like, oh wow, I would not be able to do this build even like half as good on any other ascendancy.
I think that's the key, though. I think that's the thing about Gemling. It's not that Gemling is OP. It's that it makes unusable skills usable. It makes the bad skills actually be usable, and I think that's why so many people are playing it. Like it definitely increased the ceiling of like
maybe.
a lot of powerful stuff. But for the most part, there's other things from other ascendancies that kind of, like for example, like what Rabbit was saying earlier, right? He's never felt the need to play Gemling, or like he's never played Gemling because he just feels like these other ascendancies are more beneficial for his build than Gemling. But Gemling, the reason why so many people are playing it is because there's so many skills that are now usable in builds because of the ascendancy, rather than, I would say, increasing the power ceiling by all that much. Yeah, a lot of cases Gemling does get like a flat increase just by having that quality, but I would say that in some cases, like you're probably better off playing Oracle for a certain build, or maybe you're better off playing I don't know, Blood Mage or something like that, or Martial Artist with the gloves. Like I think Gemling is, rather than being overpowered, is just very much build enabling for a lot of characters that wouldn't be able to make those builds.
I think that was Kodachi's point that he was trying to make to me, and he didn't like that direction for the game. I haven't like personally had an
I
issue
think it's a
with it, but
Band-Aid
like,
fix.
what is your
Because like
Okay.
hopefully eventually they get all the other skills balanced to a point where you don't have to play Gemling to make them viable.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. What about your thoughts, Rabbit? Like, have you had any pull to play Gemling at all?
I have now. No, I've had before. The thing is for me, and this goes down to a lot of the other discussions that we also have in terms of min-maxing a lot on the podcast as well. It comes down to content. And if the content that we are playing doesn't require me to do the absolute min-max hell of all time to do the content, a lot of the times I'm not doing it, and I'm choosing the fun stuff to do instead. And and that isn't necessarily Gemling all the time. It does sound a lot of fun when you guys describe it, because there's like these certain interactions that sounds fun. But I don't feel pushed into the meta ascendancy this league at all, or in any of the previous leagues, to the fact that I need to play this ascendancy, or I need to play this specific build to be able to do this content. For the first time now, I think there is a argument to be made that content might now be the Super Juice expeditions, I guess. But I don't know if that is going to stay the way it is now, because there seems to be some stuff that I don't think is intended to be that I've seen people just like be one shot with the most tanky builds in the game and everything. So I don't know, but in the end, it's down to what build I think is the most fun. Does that Ascendancy work for that? And also, do I want to play that Ascendancy for the build? I don't feel pushed into anything. Thankfully.
I think.
Although I just checked Gemling on Piri Ninja, and I was
Yes, it's
extremely
third.
surprised.
It's
It's
Oh,
third
you
now.
haven't seen yet. Yep.
I haven't
Gemling's
seen it
very
yet.
popular.
It's 12% now. That I looked
Completely
like
different.
a few days ago. It was, I think, less than 3. It just jumped up now in the past couple of days.
I also
I
think that
think-
Gemling is kind of like Blood Mage in the sense that it needs gear to be good.
Yes,
Like-
that's exactly what I was about to say.
agree with
Is
that,
that it is every unless it gets giga nerfed, you're going to see Gemling 2 to 3 weeks into the league spike in play, right? Because quality gear, at least as of right now, is very expensive. If you're using Lore Weave, which by the way, my build's using Lore Weave, you can get Pork Loin Ring on the Lore Weave chest.
Wait, what?
So, is that what Miso calls it? I've been calling it
Yes.
since I heard him say that
Yes.
once.
Yeah, that's I never know what is it actually called.
Pole Circle?
Porcirclin.
Yeah, okay, pork loin it is.
I mean, yeah,
That's
you
so
can't
much
ask
better.
me. I already say the easy words wrong. But I have that ring on my chest mod, so I'm doing the like shatter of Herald of Ice with a Wind Dancer via it. But like getting a good lore weave's expensive, so quality gear is always going to be good. Darkness and Thrones are always going to be expensive. Question of, as we're talking about player power, gem levels, the state of gem levels. The GGG was talking about how they're going to nerf gem levels in this patch, how they're going to try and make them a little bit less mandatory, and they did nerf gem levels. They made you can't get +7 attack skills and stuff like that on maces anymore. I think the essences are limited to +3 and +5s now. But then they added other ways to get more gem levels, where you can get projectile skills on your gloves. You can get +4 melee skills on gloves now. You can get +5 skill levels on your amulets now. So while they nerf
+6.
gem levels.
+6, yeah.
Oh, 6, right?
Yeah,
6,
+6.
right? You can get +6.
You get +6.
So they nerfed gem levels, but I like my Wind Dancer is level 39 right now. I could get it above 40 if if you could push it past that. So like to me, like they did, it's worse. Like I'm having to spend more divines chasing a +6 amulet. So what
It's
are your guys'
kinda-
thoughts on the state of gem levels?
It's kind of the meme mission successfully failed or something.
Thoughts, AP? Are you using gem levels a lot?
Yeah, I could get above 40 as well. I'm at 37, but I don't have the +2 amulet, and I'm not even using the +2 Alder's life sprig thing. I don't know. I didn't really have an issue with plus levels. They're really strong. I think that's okay. What do you guys think?
I've never really had like a hate relationship with gem levels. I think it makes sense on this the surface level. If this is supposed to be the easier to approach game, gem level go up, damage go up. Like that's very simple to explain. I just think my biggest concern has always they've made it a lot better this patch. My biggest concern was always that rare weapons trivialize or just completely made unique weapons obsolete. And the Runeforging system has changed a lot of that for me in my perspective. There's still some bad ones, but some of the unique weapons have gem levels on them now. So that's changed a lot of them. Like there's actually quite a few unique maces that are viable in endgame now, which was never the case before. So it's getting better than that, but my issue always was it would remove the cool items from the game that didn't have gem levels, and that's less a problem this patch. So yeah.
From a caster perspective, I actually feel like this hype behind gem levels has actually kind of hurt the way people level, because when they're leveling my Spark builds, they'll be like, hey, look, I have a gem level staff. Why am I not one-shotting everything? But gem levels is flat damage, and that's one scalar. But you need to multiply that with like increased damage, with gain is extra. Like there's a lot cast speed. There's all these multipliers on top of that. And everybody says like gem levels is king. Like you just need high gem levels. You'll be fine. That they will have like weaker characters because they don't prioritize like just 100% increased spell damage. That literally doubles your damage during the campaign. Gem levels, that might not double your damage by itself. So from a caster perspective, yes, it's very strong, but I feel like people are also misinformed with how powerful it is. Like there's a lot of different things that are powerful and you need to have all of it. So
Definitely
I
at the
think
end
the
game,
kind of-
like
Go
on the
ahead.
high end of the casters side of stuff, like every
Yeah.
gem level is a very much an exponential increase in damage once you're over a certain threshold.
yeah, because you
I
already have
think-
all those other scalars at that point. So
Yeah. I agree to your point in the early game. I think like an example on the melee side of things is you can get +2 melee skills gloves, but sometimes having a gloves with 3 rolls of added physical, lightning, and cold damage is going to lead to more damage for your build. Sometimes that flat damage is more. So yes, sometimes gem levels can be baited. But it depends on the build, right? Like there's some builds where like someone's like, I'm doing your supporting fire build, and why is my damage so bad? It's like, oh, you're missing 8 minion levels. Go get those, dude.
Sometimes it is just they're not leveling up their skill gem, right? So it works
Yeah.
both ways, but
Yeah. I do agree with you though that yes, it is a noob trap at times.
I think
What about you guys, Rabbit or Misa? Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the thing that we always harp on is that it always feels like a requirement on a piece of gear. Like it's like a set line. You can't change that line for anything else. And that goes back to kind of like what you said earlier about certain unique items feeling kind of not very good. Now they've reduced the amount on martial weapons, but again, on caster weapons they did not. So that's still very much a thing. I feel like with caster weapons where most casters aren't using a unique caster item, like a unique wand or a
also
unique
just
scepter or staff.
not enough suffixes. Like, what would you replace it with? Cast speed plus levels mandatory on any rare caster weapon. What's that? The third? There's no close third option. Like maybe something to do with crit.
I can't speak about casters, but for martial weapons, there's like onslaught, attack speed, crit damage, crit chance, or leech. Can be a little not as strong this league, but in the past could have been a pretty good option. Like there's other things for martial weapons. I don't know about casters though.
I mean, the casters are using a unique now, so they successfully put a unique. They just made the most busted caster unique.
Oh, you talking about the tuning fork? I was like, what unique
yeah.
are you talking about? Okay,
So yeah,
the
they
tuning
just
fork.
the way to for people to use a unique wand or a unique caster weapon was just to make the most busted one of all time. So I guess that was
which also scales gem levels.
Yeah. Exactly,
Yes.
and that is the reason why it's so good, because you can just get a shit ton of gem levels and then have a lot of other stuff at the same time. So yeah, and it's I don't know. Speaking from the caster perspective, because you guys said you're AP is probably even more of a caster focused person than I am. So it's just a little bit. I don't think it's a problem that keeps me from having fun in the game or being like, oh, this is so atrocious that I hate it. I just think there could be a more elegant system to it that will benefit both the uniques that we could end up using, and at the same time it could also be such a cool thing. And since Cal, you said I haven't mentioned Diablo 2 in a while, I'll just mention it again. It could be something like extremely cool, like we kind of have on rings now. There are rings now that are +1 levels, and it's like, oh my god, it's the most insane shit of all time to have +1 on a ring. And I think that should show you a little bit that it, rather than being a required thing to have on every single item piece, that every single weapon that doesn't have +7 is therefore useless. It could be like a thing, oh damn, this has +3 on, and I think that could be a little bit more of a cool system rather than having it be just a required thing on every single gear piece like that.
Yeah. I have found myself not using rare amulets much this patch, which has not been a thing I've done. Like I've used multiple unique amulets. Like I've used a couple Astral Menace builds. What's the new amulet called where it gives you like mind over matter, but then it gives you divinity? I used that for a build.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you're in the wacky side again.
I'm on build
You're in
7.
the weird zone.
Yeah, I'm doing
fuck?
goofy shit again.
Because I can tell you,
I'm
everyone else is using rare amulets, Cal.
The absent amulet.
Absent
Everyone
amulet.
else
Missing
is.
out.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense.
The
then.
absent
Yeah. I'm
amulet
in
is
the weeds again.
ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
Oh, Absent Amulet's super good. Yeah, I've used a few
Yeah.
Absent Amulets. Like for attack builds, Eternal Rage is 100 Rage, or you get an Absent Amulet with it, and you have Rage on like builds that can't get Rage easily, which is usually
Yeah.
like bow or crossbow builds. which is cool.
Absent amulet with 50 spirit on it. Yeah, have a free 100 or have 150 spirit. There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just
sick.
get that.
Pretty sick.
Let's go.
Those things
And,
are
you
so
mentioned
not
Leech
just for
meat-
craft too, eh? Because you want to get the +4 levels, and you know how do you get the +4 levels? You just spam 1,700
spam.
Chaos Orbs.
Yep.
That's
True.
why I haven't used an absent amulet on any of my builds because
bad.
I don't like the absent amulets don't come with modifiers. So you basically somebody has to have been running your build or like something that uses similar affixes,
Pretty
or
much
you
how
have
I've
to
got
craft it
mine.
yourself. And I'm like, I'm not sitting there spamming chaos orbs for +3 spell level or +3 proj level or whatever. But speaking of which, proj levels also they are getting screwed because projectile tag on amulets or projectile skills does not have a projectile tag, so they cannot go up to +5 or +6.
Yeah.
They are
You
getting
can get
get the
projectile
gloves.
skills on. You can get projectile skills on gloves now, though.
but melee skills can get melee levels. So people made that
Yeah,
it's like,
melee
oh
skills
yeah,
can get
but you
six,
know,
yeah.
but yeah, you know, it's you get the gloves now. But like, yeah, melee
I'm
always
all
had that.
for. Yeah, fuck bow and crossbow builds, dude. They don't need love.
Wait, so there's no
down.
quality
Didn't
to
your Leech
boost.
start a bow build? Wait.
I did.
So it's only +3. It can't go up to +4 with quality. Is that what you're saying? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
it can't because it
Oh.
doesn't have a projectile tag. It has
That's
no
too bad.
tag. It's a tagless line.
That's funny.
Have you
That's
guys played
funny.
Torchlight Infinite before?
Yeah, a
No,
little
right?
bit.
A little
A little
bit.
bit.
You know the crafting in that where you can just set a modifier and it can just chaos spam and it'll
Oh, yeah.
stop when you hit it.
Mm-hmm. We need that.
That would make crafting these things a lot easier, right?
Oh, 100%.
Save you
That's
1,700 clicks per amulet.
that is
forgot
literally
about
the
that.
reason
But-
why. Again,
Dude,
I
I
don't
was-
want to use an absent amulet.
Yeah.
I was divine spamming a Heart of the Well, and you know when you've hit 50 of them, at some point you're just click, 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 click,
Yeah.
and I cycled past a perfect double roll gain roll with it was, and I almost died inside. It was. So yes, I would love anything that's like, I'm looking for something as good as this. Please stop here, you know, or like just an auto search for it, because
And you just
that's
watch
the
the
reason I
chaos
don't
orbs
craft.
disappear.
I'm
Yeah, but you
happy
don't have
with
to
that.
click,
That's
so I'd be okay with that.
I don't craft because of that. Like I don't like I like the idea that's like someone's like, well, you're gonna have to do this part, and on average it's gonna be 500 chaos orbs. And if like I had 500 chaos orbs in my stash and they just consumed those and did that, I would do this more. I would go out of my way to learn crafting, but I am not going to sit there and like have to control my ADHD, focus, make sure I'm not clicking too fast. You know, like I just can't do it.
I actually
It's
love
just not for me.
crafting except for the chaos spam because you can delete money so fast with omens, right? Like everything about crafting super streamlined except for the chaos spam. That's the one
Yeah.
step.
I mean, I think it's really funny because the whole thing with like not having alteration orbs is because they're like, oh, we don't want you to sit in your hideout alt spamming, and now it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not alt spamming or I'm chaos spamming.
We need a fix for that,
It's a lot of it,
GGG,
too.
if you're listening.
It's a lot of that. By the way, you mentioned Leech me, so have any of you played with Leech yet? I've done one Leech build. You guys haven't played Leech? It's fucking awful. I don't think GG... No one internally play tested it at all. No one played with Val Pact. No one tried to make a successful Leech build where it was actually good defensively as your main defensive mechanic. Maybe as like a secondary health, but I am like... I think next week's podcast, I'm gonna like if the whoever our guest is like has played with Leech, we're going on a Leech rant because I am blown away by how they nuked Leech. It's not good. Don't play Leech, boys. At least Life Leech. I don't know if Mana Leech is any better.
I haven't looked into it, but I've saw Fubgun's Blood Mage, and it's still up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down on its health. And I don't know how he gets that. I don't know if it's because of Leech or something else.
Fub gets there with Divines. Like I don't know, but Bill, I have to go see what he's doing. I did a what was my Leech build? I can't even. It was a Thorns build. I was doing Thorns Leech, and the main way you played Thorns always before was Leech as a defensive layer, and it's like completely dead. It's like, and I don't know if you guys saw whose video was it? Was it Karn? Was Karn the one that did the Leech video where he was like pointing out how the elemental, like the damage split works with the 40k cap? It's just functionally not good. It's just bad. So I just genuinely don't think anyone at GGG played with it in a serious manner. Unless there's like some mechanic people are missing or there's a bug that they weren't anticipating. It's bad. But if we haven't, no one's played it. Yeah, we won't dive into it. Is there anything balance wise? I love these episodes where we have a guest who just wants to talk about whatever they want to talk about. We did not talk about any of the show notes. We didn't talk about Expedition at all. We didn't talk about state of performance. We just talked about this beautiful game. Anything you want to talk about, AP, before we wrap up?
Balance wise, I think the league is in a really good spot. I've been seeing like Miso made a video on Expedition being cracked for currency. I tried that last night. I haven't really done much Expedition. I was even doing like the juice alders.
I don't think that was
wasn't
me
you.
because I don't touch Expedition. I never play
Yeah,
it.
well, I'm not getting the crazy numbers. I'm spending like, I don't know, the alders thing and like a bunch. I'm doing all the juice thing. I'm getting like 10 div per map, but apparently that's like pretty good. I think in general though, just farming is pretty good. Like you don't have to be blasting super expensive tablets. I think it's pretty profitable just going fast. Like Alkin going, using his tablets, using whatever. You're gonna make your money. So it's in a good spot. I don't like it when you have to be following super min-maxed setups to really get value. For example, last league Temple, I think you had to like tab out of the game, learn like
Yeah,
like hours. Yeah, you have to use like applications to like plan your thing.
No thanks.
And then you're getting like 300 div per map. You don't have to do that this league, and that's a good thing, I think.
I also
I'm
just
pretty happy.
appreciate like, and this was the thing that I appreciate about last league actually, and you probably didn't get to that point, AP, of the league, but when Temple was popping off, right? Everybody was in Temple. Nobody was doing anything else. So everything outside of Temple was also actually printing divs, like all the Abyss currencies, all the
Also, like the divs were worthless, so
yeah, they
didn't
were,
matter.
but you were getting
Yeah,
good
yeah.
money outside of the like. My point was like you could have basically done anything and you were getting money.
Yeah.
You could have done any league mechanic, and I think that
It wasn't near as good as the Temple though.
No, definitely not. But you were still doing okay, right? You weren't at the top, but you were at least like making your builds work out, right? And I think that this league is very similar in that everything that you do, all the league mechanics are just worth money, and I really like that.
Power though, for sure, right?
Mhm,
This
mhm.
league.
Oh yeah,
I think
100%.
Yeah.
it's starting to inflate now. Like, what is it? 1,400 for a Core's lock is just gonna get worse and worse. But
Yeah.
I mean, 5 weeks until it started to really devalue. That's pretty good. I'll take
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
It's a W.
Agreed.
Yep. Huge.
Agreed.
Especially without like any div syncs and things like that in the game yet. Like Mage Blood, yeah, but that's not really like a
Good enough,
true
no.
div sync.
Before we completely wrap up, I do want to talk about we won't dive deeply into Expedition, but just from the player power perspective. I've done some Expeditions and it's really hard. Like if you're like, I'm not even doing the hardest, juiciest Expedition, but I'm doing like pretty juiced Expedition. And when you get to the last waves of Remnants, like it is like you can get randomly one shot and you need a lot of damage. Like it's not like a 100-room group temple from before, but it's still a lot of damage you need to kill these rares. Do you guys as build creators, when you see a content like Expedition that's both challenging, which I think we all look at challenging content as fun, right? We don't like look at it and go, I don't want to do that. But it's like, the challenging stuff is fun, but also it's one of the more rewarding farms. When you look at a content like this, do you feel FOMO if your build can't perform it? Do you think like, oh, I need to re-roll to something that can do this farm? Or do you just not give a fuck? Because for me, like, if my build can't do a certain farm, I'm usually not too upset as long as it can do a good farm, a good enough farm. But I know some people, like it's a comment I get a lot, I'm sure you get a lot, is like, can this build do Expedition? Can it do juiced Expedition? Can it do 200% Delirium juiced maps, right? Like you get those comments a lot too. But do you feel that pull when you're making builds, AP?
I get those questions. I get, can this build do 200% deli with 5 leechers doing nothing? And that used to trigger me, honestly. I've never, like, I'm a
Same.
solo player. I don't do that. But I guess I'm just kind of fortunate. I'm a caster player. Casters are absolutely cracked this league. The
Always
Gemling
been.
Spark actually, it literally it can do that content, so I'll just milk it, I guess. One thing a little annoying though is like since it's an Adonia's build, there's one map mod I don't really like. Monsters have increased ailment threshold because it is an
Oh,
ailment
I
based
hate
build.
that. I hate
And when
that.
you're when you're rolling the maps to do the Juice Expedition, you know, like the triple omens with 5 mods, it gives you just a bunch of monster effectiveness. One of those mods is almost always like 80% increased ailment threshold. That triggers me. Thankfully, the build's so much damage I just like power through it. But sometimes when you get those mobs that are like invincible and then they have like the mana siphoner and they have some other crazy stuff and they're just running at you. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy if I also can't freeze them.
Herald of Ice Chaining is like one of my favorite playstyles in Path of Exile, and when I played a
That
lot of
brick
those.
Yeah.
And basically, if you get one of those, you're like, well, I guess there goes my fun. I can't chain my heralds anymore, unless you're using the pork loin ring, which helps out a lot. But other than that, it's rough.
Do you guys feel like a FOMO or like if you build any in the past, like if you ever had a build that couldn't do a specific farm, do you feel that FOMO?
Spark has always been pretty overtuned, so I've never really not been able to do the highest tier farm. Last league, I
That's
wasn't
true.
farming the temple, but I was going on vacation, and also I didn't like how they handled the temple situation. I think they were on vacation. They didn't.
Mhm.
It was I don't know.
Yeah, I've
Rip lead for me. It wasn't so much I couldn't handle it. I just got burnt out.
Oh, I mean, I have no
Yeah.
complaints or whatever words for anyone who got burnt out from Temple. That was
Yeah.
Rabbit and I were praying for the weeks leading up to it that please don't release into Christmas and then go on vacation. Like that was something we were like, please release in January. And Misa was always like, they're not going to do that. They're going to release right before Christmas, like they always do. And it's just that's just it.
And that's what's gonna happen for 1.02 probably.
1.0, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yep. But I've never really felt FOMO, but I always do try to get my build up to what people consider as the standard. This league, the standard I think is 200% Deli solo, and I try to get my build up to that point. And but I've never felt FOMO about like, let's say if my build can't do the most juiced of Xbed, I've never really cared too much about that. I just target what most people play. Like most people, if my build can do what most people are doing, I think that's fine for me.
You pick your starter based on something that can scale, because I do that honestly. I pick my starter, which like maybe some people will reroll as a second build. I don't want a starter that you have to reroll off of. So in that case, generally speaking, the build's going to be able to handle the hardest content. No, is that not a priority?
I'm like the worst person to ask that. So I the way I make builds is what looks fun. So I
Exactly.
do, like for me, a league starter has like different meaning.
True.
Yeah, for me is
I
what
never
looks
played.
cool.
I never played Spark
Yeah,
before,
what looks cool.
ever.
Yeah, Rabbit only
Shut
plays
up.
Rabbit only plays OP builds anyway, so you don't really have to worry about his build
Yeah,
scaling.
he's a meta.
Maybe I
he's a
just
meta
make
slut
good
at this
builds.
point.
Maybe
Maybe
I just make builds that turn out to be OP.
probably. No, and to be clear, I think the way you approach your league start is the right way to play it. Like the way, like your mentality around it is how like, the average person should go about it.
It's not like I was not having fun on my league starter. I had a
Oh no, for sure.
I had
Both
a
you
ton
and
of
AP
fun.
had a blast for sure.
Yeah, we both
Yeah.
like.
Lance
it's
is
just
strong, isn't it?
It's amazingly strong. It turned out to be insanely strong.
Wait, were you what ascendancy were you?
I started as a Lich on plants.
Right.
So yeah, you can play it on you can play it on anything.
Lots of reroll
yeah, it was
there if you want.
Was really good on Abyssal Lich, and I was surprised. I didn't think that plants is gonna scale into endgame that well, because I have people in my chat that are still on the plants build and are doing juiced expedition, juiced 200% daily on a very high level when it comes to divines invested. But it's insane how good it is now.
This is the first league start for me where I felt like I don't know if guilt's the right word, but like the weight of my community for the first time when doing a league starter, because like normally, a handful of people follow me, but for this league, a lot more people followed me because of the hype around my build, and it like there is a lot of responsibility you have as a build creator, unfortunately, where you can't just go and play a build without some people following it. And if you like have a bad league starter, those people who followed you had a bad league starter. So like this league start, I took a big risk. It was a lot of fun and it did clear all the content, but I there is something to the point of like having a successful league starter where you're not going to re-roll off of it and not taking these risks. I know that every league start I'm probably going to get baited by new shit forever. Like something new shows up, I'm gonna be like, ooh, that's cool, I want to do that right away. But yeah, I don't know. Like I do feel like almost like a pressure that like to not do fun new shit on League Start because it will lead it might lead some people astray, like unintendedly.
Yeah.
So I get why the League Start is so important, especially for like, bigger content creators who have actual influence like you guys do.
I've felt myself kind of the same. I've grown into that. In the past, in PoE1, I would just play Spark every league. It would get nerfed, I'd play it again. But after PoE2 started, I guess like I want to provide a league starter that has like a baseline high amount of power, because there's going to be honestly like more newer players who just want generic power and they're not just looking at me to make a Spark build no matter what. So yeah, I would agree. When you have more of a following that's not just hyper niche on what you generally play, you do have to put something out that's gonna hold up to all content.
Yeah. Because Miso said, like, I need my builds to at least be able to do 200% deli. Like, I used to not have that mentality around making builds. I used to make shit fucking builds that were just, look at this silly concept that I kind of got to red maps, right? I don't do that anymore because of those viewers. I just feel bad. There had to be a mentality shift, which, yeah.
Yep, that was me in 0.1. Cool. I made a lot of goofy stuff, basically. That a lot of it was like, my goal was like, a lot of what I did in 0.1 was like, hey, here's a bad skill. Let's see if I can make it at least viable. And
yeah, exactly.
That's a lot less of what I do now, especially because of like what you said, right? More people following builds. But for league starts, I still typically get baited. I still typically go for
I'm always gonna get baited.
Fun. And sadly, that means a lot of times my league starts are not the most smooth thing, but I do try to warn people like, hey, this is completely untested, guys. I don't know how it's going to go. Hopefully it'll be good. Like I did face breakers to start this league, and face breakers are mid at best.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive into a build of the week. Let's start with mine. Yep. Mine is from a Reddit user named Such Balance.
I saw this build.
It was so this fun. Build's so cool. I love it when you take something goofy and niche and like you make it insane. He is doing a Howling Cry build. I think is a skill called Arctic Howl. He is just min-maxed it to the point where he is getting 15 cast-offs per second of Arctic Howl, and it's doing good damage. It's not like, one-shotting bosses. I don't know if this build could handle necessarily the juiciest expedition maps, but it's a pretty cool build. It looks hilarious. The clear speed on it is good. Defensively, it's really good. When you're doing 15 knockbacks per second, nothing's gonna touch you, right? It's really cool. The AoE clear on it is awesome, but obviously, anytime you have a mechanic like this, like this is the shit kind of like the builds that I love to see and make. Like you're just taking something goofy and you're like, who's gonna make an Arctic Howl build, right? Like not many people, and this is the entire purpose of the build is just 15 Arctic Howls per second. It's got good clear. It's got surprisingly good single target. This is just one of those builds where it's like if you take a concept and you min-max it with as many divines as possible, you can make. It looks so silly. It's so fun. I love these kind of builds, man. I didn't see a YouTube video or YouTube channel for the guy. It was just the Reddit post. He's made like 3 or 4 updates over the last few weeks, but When I saw this, I was like, oh, this is just so cool. So shout out to Such Balance. Yeah, this is freaking awesome, man. He's doing there's like a loop where he has to like self damage himself. And he's using Infernal Cry to do that. That's how he's proccing the extra cries. So that's why he's on an Infernalist. So the self damage from casting spells fills up his Infernal Flame, takes the self damage, and it just causes this this crazy build to happen. So shout out to Such Balance.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was a reverse chill build.
Yep, reverse chill. Yep. Somehow the least cool thing of this build.
Yeah, I saw this build like I think like a week ago. One of my viewers, one of my buddies, Senny, he sent it to me, and it's like, "Yo, what do you think about this build?" I'm like, "This is ridiculous. Definitely not the most practical thing out there. Like you're out here stutter stepping everywhere.
Divines.
There's a lot of divines, but you know, it's really cool, really funny, really cool.
It's good
Love the
boss
concept.
damage, you know.
Yeah. Do you know
cool.
what he's shooting out? Is he shooting out the
I have no idea.
The whatever the abyssal staff skill is called? Coming the whatever
I have
calamity.
No idea what that is.
Little green projectiles.
I have no
Scattering
idea what
Calamity.
that is.
Yeah, scattering calamity.
I didn't see that on his ninja. He's using a talisman with a scepter, and then he has got the legacy of the Amor Mandraga or whatever, the unique talisman. So
Yeah, the
I
plant
don't know
talisman.
where he would get that. But yeah,
Very interesting.
That's
It's
on
sick.
the next build, isn't it? Dead Rabbit's build of the week.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Dead Rabbit put in a build of the week. I didn't even realize.
He posted it in
I
chat.
did.
Yeah.
I
But he's
did,
saying-
but we
he's
can
sa-
skip mine. I got it.
He's running short on
Yeah.
time, so we're gonna
Yeah.
skip his
Okay,
build
A
of the
lot,
week.
a lot actually.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then let's move on to mine then.
Yep, fine.
This is from a creator that I follow quite a bit. His
Follow
name's
you too, man.
Korhor.
Welcome.
Oh, I have volume on. His
Oh,
name's
Korhor, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's the Chayula guy, and he made a really strong and really cool Chayula character that focuses on ignite from the ball lightning, and let's just say it does a metric fuck ton of damage. I think he gets 15 million DPS on his ignite with this build. He scales up to
What?
100%, 100% shock magnitude. He goes up to, I think, 70% wither. He does despair, and also I think it's 1,000% ignite magnitude increase. So it does a lot of damage. And the best thing is it has really good clear as well. As you can see, literally flames all over the ground, and the
What?
boss itself just melts. Like, look at that. That is through Arbiter DR phase. It is a lot of damage, and all this is done through, you know, life stacking with to get a ton of defensive as well. So he's super tanky and basically never dies, and he does a metric a buttload of damage as well. So it is insanely strong. And once again, the reason why Chayula, I think, is actually and you know, Prada maybe he opened my eyes. I actually do think Chayula is a very good ascendancy. It's very strong.
Chalupa's good, man. Chalupa's good. That's crazy. It always, like, I'm not trying to disparage this build. This build's freaking awesome. It just pisses me off that the only way you can play Ignite is Chaos Ignite. Why can't Fire Ignite be cool too, man? Make normal Ignite good, GGG.
Yeah.
But this is sick. This is
it-
freaking insane. This is the most Ignite I've seen from like a caster build. I think I've seen like maybe Snipe Ignite builds do a lot of Ignite damage, but this is like the best Black Flame build I've seen.
It does a ton of damage. And again, it's basically immortal.
That's awesome. Shout out to Korhor. He makes
Mhm.
cool builds.
Indeed.
Shout out to Prada. Dead Rabbit was going to showcase his build, but Rabbit, you know,
I will
he doesn't
next
have
week.
time for you, Prada. He doesn't have time for you. We won't have time for you next week either. Sorry, Prada.
Oh, Prada
Sorry.
knows I love him. Okay.
Yeah, I can't troll Prada here. AP, thanks so much for coming on, man. It was a wonderful conversation. Sorry it took so long. Your name has been thrown around from the beginning of us doing this podcast, and for whatever reason, it took way too long for us to finally reach out to you.
That's all I get. It was fun. Good talk.
We'll have you back for sure. Are you going to be playing? I assume you're playing the next PoE 1 League.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing Torchlight Infinite in like 2 weeks, and then right after that, I'm gonna be playing the PoE 1 League as well.
Where can our viewers follow you if they don't already do that?
Twitch.tv/Animeprincess and YouTube, just Animeprincess as well.
Awesome. Thanks again so much for coming on. It was a great chat. Rabbit, take it away.
Yes. Also, I also stream on Twitch. Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Because we have Animeprincess. Isn't that the anime? Isn't that the thing?
Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. Go ahead,
don't know.
Biso. Save us.
Woo. Twitch.tv/VSoXshiro, YouTube VSoXshiro, stream there every single day, though I will be taking a couple days off for the next couple days. So sorry, I'll be gone for a hot minute. But yeah, come hang out. I'm doing a really cool run and gun kind of machine gun play style character right now.
Yeah.
So it looks really
True
cool.
American
it's
build.
Like super fun. It's the American build freedom fighter out there. I don't have a name for it yet, but definitely very much blue-blooded.
I have a name
American. For it. I mean, I had a name for it as well, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
I have a name for it. No, same.
No, say that. Yeah, thanks again to AP for coming on the podcast. Reminders that we are again looking for an editor, and we are also doing the Hideout Showcase competition. You still have 12 days to submit for that contest, and yeah, next week I believe it's like 99.9% locked in that Farmer's going to be on next week, but it's not 100% confirmed yet. But should be Farmer next week. But yep, see you guys next week, and make sure you ask Rabbit about the campaign skip. Bye.
No, the new one is don't use Farmer's Loot Filter. That's the new one.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'll do that one at the end
All
of
right.
the Farmer episode.
I got a